bot, and all sorts of other great stuff. So stick around. Got more to come. Let me get Jack up here on the line.
Good
Hey, David, Jack, how's it going?
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. Hey, Jack. How you doing?
Pretty
good. How are you doing, David?
I'm doing well. Been busy. Hey, Jack. I got to ask you a quick question before you get going. Hey, how are you doing on art storefronts?
What do you mean by art storefronts? What do you mean by just my art website?
Yeah. You hooked up with art storefronts. I was seeing it up on my Facebook. It's the only Jack Carey that I know, so I thought I would ask.
Yeah, I'm not sure what art storefronts is actually. If they somehow are connecting to my site, and I just have no idea. But I just launched my site on GoDaddy, so.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I'd just ask and see, because there's people on there saying they're making 6 figures in a matter of months, and I'm thinking, no way.
Yeah, maybe I should try it. I wonder what their secret sauce is.
Well, they want a lot of money up front. I did speak with a lady a couple months ago, and I said, no, I don't have $5,000 to be putting out right now for marketing. Yeah. I could buy a lot of cigars for $5,000.
Hell yeah. There you go. Let's get some cigars. The three of us smoking cigars, doing shows. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let's light them up now.
Well, I was just curious about it because I saw your name, and I didn't really look at the artwork because I went on by, and I just deleted the thing because I figured, well, it was another promo piece, So, but anyway.
Interesting. Well, if you come across that, man, post the link. That's interesting. I don't know. Maybe there's another Jack Carey out there in the world. That's
okay. Yeah, that could.
Well,
be.
Jack, you got 30 seconds, and we'll get you going. All right. Can't wait to see what you have for us tonight. You always have great stuff.
It's an interesting show. It's kind of a fly by the seat of our pants kind of a show because I've been getting ready for this gallery showing. But yeah.
Here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to Paranormal Intelligence Agency Radio Live. We are broadcasting from down in a 300-foot deep nuclear missile silo, lost in the post-apocalyptic wastelands of the Dakota Territories. And as always, I'm joined by the paranormal crime fighting duo, Miss Daisy and the Sundance Kid. High above us, believe it or not, are migrating Mongolian death worms. They are radioactive, electric, and they're looking for a good time. And I'm your host, Jack Carey. I've got a voice for smell-o-vision and a face for milk cartons. And tonight we are examining, an interesting, I guess, happening that's going on right now will be our main topic. It's also paranormal in the news tonight. And that's the fact that some of the smartest, at least one of the smartest scientists on the planet, a guy from Harvard named A.V. Loeb, believes that there is an interstellar craft right now on its way. It is coming to the Earth. This has been published in mainstream media. It's all over the place. I'm going to be quoting from a New York Post article tonight concerning that. It's on CBS News Boston right now. If you're in Boston, you can actually watch a story about that. But it's interesting because this is the same scientist who previously detected and notified all of us out here in the, in paranormal land and beyond. He's, this guy was a mainstream, or is a mainstream scientist. He's trying to tell the world what's going on. And, there's all kinds of people putting up, all kinds of roadblocks and arguments and things like that, instead of just listening to what might be one of the smartest scientists on the planet. And he brought to us a previous object that came, the first ever recorded from interstellar space, on a very strange trajectory. And it skimmed by the Earth. And at the time, he said that it had all of the impressions of being an alien probe of some kind. So the scenario plays out. Oumuamua, as it was called, which I think means distant traveler in the Hawaiian language, or distant messenger, something like that, came through. It was probably an alien probe. It detected that there was life on this planet. We don't know how advanced it was and what it was able to pick up, but apparently it sent a signal back to another craft, and that craft is en route. It will be here in November. All of this was predicted by the WebBot. Major hit. Bing. Major hit. And the fact that it was predicted by the WebBot means the probability of its other predictions coming true in very short order is an extremely high probability. I'll repeat that. It is an extremely high probability. It also predicted that there would be going to geopolitical, excuse me, I'm having a computer issue here, but going to geopolitical front and news, it predicted that there would be a mass migration of illegal aliens from the United States back to their home countries. And it predicted this a long time ago, a couple of years ago. It predicted it before the migration crisis even really began. Another major hit. Again, shooting probability that its other predictions are extremely accurate and about to take place. So we're going to start with cyber prophecy. We've got a lot of our main topic, really sort of, it's a big melting pot. Our main topic is this incoming alien craft. At the same time, it ties in with our paranormal in the news this week and our cyber prophecies this week. The WebBot predicted that aliens and an alien craft or technology of some kind would become, would show up in mainstream media and become a big topic. And it is, if you've looked online, it is literally everywhere. Forget what the, or the lack of coverage by legacy MSM, like ABC and stuff like that, although CBS is running a story about it. Those are nothing but propaganda rags for the left wing of this country, and that's just the way it is. It's controlled by money that has left-wing political views in our country. And so a lot of the news coming out of those big networks just can't be trusted. In most cases, they just don't report stuff that would upset the apple cart of control that is going on this planet. But hey, that's why you listen to shows like ours. And so all of this ties into one big pretty bow, if you will. And the fact is Lockheed Martin came out this week with a shocker of a news release. If you go in and if you just do a simple news search for Lockheed Martin, which I'm going to do right now while we're on the air, and hit news, you're going to see a lot of articles, and one of them is from Defense Connect, which is interesting. And, this hit mainstream media, but it didn't make the waves that we thought it would make. But the headline that's mainly running is that the CEO of Lockheed Martin, the president and CEO of global aerospace leader, Lockheed Martin, his name is Jim Taiclet, has set tongues wagging following the company's second quarter financial results, revealing a $1.6 billion pre-tax loss. But, and this is the big but in all of this, he reveals a magical, their words, guys, not ours, a magical next generation aircraft for U.S. and international customers. Basically, what they're saying is, in their press releases, they don't care that they've suffered billions in losses developing this new magical technology, because it is a complete, utter, and total game changer for the aerospace and aeronautical industry together. So, and who does Lockheed Martin own? Why, they own Skunk Works, and Skunk Works is who develops the craft at Area 51. Isn't that an interesting little piece of the puzzle that all fits together? And this ties together tonight because, along with talking about this new arrival, this alien that's coming, this alien craft, we're going to talk about what might be in store for that alien craft. They might be in for a little bit of shock. They might think that we're easy pickings, that we're sitting here like fish in a barrel, not realizing that the universe and its self-revealing ontological nature, which it truly is, put humanity into a position to acquire alien, non-human intelligence, technology, whether that's by shooting those craft down or whether by them wandering into our radar systems early on and not realizing it would mess with their propulsion systems and they crashed. We don't know. There have been some intelligence insiders saying that, yeah, we have a type of electromagnetic pulse weapon that can bring down a UFO. I believe that's probably the case, and that we've recovered many craft, and the universe put us in that position to be able to obtain that technology. Really kind of like have you ever played a video game where there's a power up and you get powered up to the next level just instantaneously in the video game? Well, humanity apparently is going through a power up that was set in motion by the karma flow, the ontological nature of the universe, which allowed us to acquire this technology, which we're going to talk about tonight. The United States Navy is now patented, and we're going to talk about the Navy's UFO patents and all of this. But it put us in this position, and then all of a sudden, we spend decades here back engineering, weaponizing that technology. We got our own little U.S. UFOs flying around. They're doing who knows what. And here, all of a sudden, last year before, Oumuamua comes through, this alien probe that seems to have been built inside of it's almost like they took an asteroid and built technology inside the asteroid, which is a pretty smart thing to do if you're an advanced civilization. And so the probe comes through, beep, 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 life. sends back a signal to the death ship, let's call it that, because the New York Post is running an article that this may be a hostile alien craft. Their headline is that a rare interstellar object the size of Manhattan could be an a hostile alien probe, Harvard scientist. So here's the idea that the probe came through, it sent back a signal, here's your target, to a ship. That ship is en route to us, and what it's going to find when it gets here is a species, the human species, which is an abused species, which is a species like Graham Hancock often says, lives in a constant state of amnesia, forced amnesia, I would argue, about its past, seemingly at the will of a non-human intelligence, which is here on the planet and can remove people at will from this planet, and does so. But in the course of interacting with us, has coughed up a lot of technology over to us. We've been busy working away, trying to weaponize that technology, and all of a sudden this big alien ship the size of Manhattan is going to show up, perhaps in a hostile posture, and it's going to find a planet that is armed to the teeth with back-engineered alien technology, not to mention aliens living here on the planet in vast numbers in our oceans. Something else the WWOW predicted would become known. Said it mainly was kind of pointing into July, but also, you know, as far as time is concerned, it can be off a little bit. So maybe into August, the world will become enamored with the idea that aliens are in the ocean. And what's going to happen then? That is the main subject that we'll be talking tonight. And if we have time, we're going to get to the idea that there could exist within organized occult circles that have come down to us, been around since like the 1400s. The idea that there is an ultimate matrix reality hack, and that certain groups have had access to this reality hack, if you will, and that reality hack comes in the form of the Enochian alphabet and language. What if I told you that that language was acquired by human hands through non-human intelligences? That when you examine all of the documents surrounding how it was acquired, you begin to get the idea that these beings who relayed this information were somehow, well, arbitrators, workers, nodes in the matrix, that they were somehow part of the programming of the matrix itself. And that's some fascinating stuff. So hopefully we will get to that as well. But New York Post running this article, the newly discovered Manhattan-sized interstellar object zooming through our solar system has been identified as a comet, but two Harvard scientists argue there is reason to believe it's really an alien probe. So take a look at that, guys. There's a lot of information out there about this idea that this thing has a trajectory and it's a velocity that doesn't match anything known in astrophysics. And the fact that the WWOW predicted that July would be a time when we would see a lot of public awareness, if you will, of the alien presence on the planet. other paranormal in the news is the Baja sphere from Colombia. So I previously reported that a number of these spheres, as far as I'm aware, 6 of them, have been picked up off the ground by people around the world where they landed. They were hovering, floating midair. It was like all of a sudden maybe their energy source got interrupted and they landed and people were able to pick them up. There's 6 of them, but the most famous right now is the one from Colombia, a place called Baja in Colombia. And it's being examined by a team of world scientists, and they've been able to activate the sphere. The sphere hovers right in front of them. They know how to activate it. They've got images of the inside that are inexplicable. It looks like a bunch of fiber optic like stuff, but there's no wiring. And the spheres are both transmitting and receiving encoded signals. That is yet another major WebBot hit to report to you guys tonight. The WebBot predicted that alien technology would come into the possession of regular everyday people, and that would become part of overall disclosure. And it looks like that, in fact, is taking place. If you look online, you'll be able to see video footage of the sphere actually floating in midair and all of that. Now, it was reported that some of these spheres, where they landed, it killed the plant life around the sphere and it rendered the soil hydrophobic. So the soil will no longer absorb water. The spheres have all kinds of strange markings on them that look like alien writing. I wouldn't know how else to explain it than that. And it looks like the scientists who have studied it says it operates very much like Tesla's idea of a central coil emanating electricity through the air, and that these devices pick up that electricity and are able to utilize it. How strange is that? What's even weirder is that when you examine the surface of the Baja sphere anyway, the writing on it, the alien writing and symbols that are on the craft appear to be worn down. In other words, this thing has been around for a very long time and has been in use apparently for that long. And again, we come back to that idea, is the so-called aliens living in the ocean, is that protogenesis aliens that evolved here separately from us on the planet, or did they migrate here from another planet or dimension? And are they the same beings that are abducting people? It's all a good question, because Whitley Strieber put a lot of doubt into a lot of people's minds with his interview last week or the week before, where, he basically stated that he wasn't able to ascertain ever that they came from another planet. And to him, it seemed like these beings were somehow like guards of the Matrix itself, of the holographic sort of program that is running our reality matrix. That's really the best way to put that. So that's interesting. The Baja spheres are out there. Lockheed Martin's magical technology, probably originating out of Area 51, probably has a lot to do with back engineered alien technology, and it probably will be game changing. This is part of the summer of emergence, part of the WebBot's prediction of sci-fi world emerging, and you're getting to see it live. There are plenty of other cyber prophecy predictions that are going on right now. Probably ought to touch on those. One is that the farsight.org group is predicting that the war, and determine that, well, this was blind targeting. These people usually are targeting paranormal targets. And so for them to all come back and say, no, it looks like this gets worse and spreads into Western Europe, could really be the case. The farsight.org group, the same group, previously had targeted the alien probe I was talking about, the one that came through and identified us to its mothership, apparently. They blindly targeted that object, and they reported that it was in fact a derelict alien craft, that at some point it had been attacked, that there was a huge gaping hole in the side, and that there were dead people on board. That's right, I said people, like human looking people. So take that into account. That's crazy stuff. And so Farsight is saying the war gets worse. We'll have to see. Basically, their prediction is if you continue to feed the war with weaponry of any kind, then if you feed the fire, this particular fire, the fire will spread. That's basically what their warning was. There really doesn't seem to be an answer or solution to somebody that's, basically hell-bent on war. So that's just the way it is. Along with that are some major predictions for cryptocurrency. We're going to discuss that. I'm not a financial advisor, but when you get all of this indications coming from a paranormal source, and they all seem to be part of the same puzzle, they're just different pieces, then it's kind of interesting to touch upon all of them. And the economy of the paranormal is something you probably don't hear discussed much, but we're going to talk about that as well when we come back from our break. And like I said, we're going to delve into what might be in store for this alien craft, who might be spoiling for a fight. We'll see what the great Dr. Pies is his name, the man who's behind the Navy's UFO patents, has to give them. And we'll talk about that right after our break.
Great job, Jack. We're on radio break. Hey, David,
Cool.
You still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I just clicked off. Yeah. Or back
Sonia's
on.
listening to us too over on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Jack, I read that article on that big craft coming in, and it's supposed to be, I don't know whether it was 7 miles in diameter or 7 miles long or all of the above. It's just it's a big thing coming in. And
The size of Manhattan, they say.
yeah, that's huge. And it's travel. Did you see what was it traveling this speed? Do you recall, or did you see anything in the article?
Like 130,000 miles per second or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I thought. I said, wow, that's really coming in quick.
Yep, and even then, it's going to take it till November to get here.
Yeah.
But that's crazy right there, But the aliens that are already here have some kind of technology which seems to be better than that. You know what I mean? They can just bend space and time and jump from point to point. This thing is having to travel here.
That's right.
In space terms, we got Ma and Pa Kettle showing up with a shotgun, and we're sitting here with an Uzi.
Unless it's a dreadnought that's not supposed to go that fast when it hits.
Right.
If it's a dreadnought, maybe that's just kind of like, okay, we did our speed now, our warp and all that other thing that we needed to do to jump. All right, now we're here.
Yeah.
We'll just coast in, and we don't care because we're big and we have everything that we need in this one
Oh
ship.
yeah, that's a floating city, is what that is.
Yeah, but
Is this going to be
until you figure how many
Independence Day
people.
movie?
I mean, Guam's only a mile and a half from tip to tip and a half mile wide, and they got a lot of people on Guam. All right, what could something that size,
Huge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
immense.
huge.
Yeah,
And smaller craft too. Yeah.
and they don't, and they won't even have to worry if everybody goes from one end of the ship to the others. It won't sink. Like Guam might.
Yeah.
Like that one senator was trying to tell people, well, can't have that. Can't have people move from one end to the other. The island will sink.
Right.
It's not a boat. It's an island, for crying out loud.
Oh God, that was so bizarre. That comment.
I
That
mean-
senator.
I mean, come on. If everybody in a ship got from one end and moved to the other, all right, how much would it affect the ship, weight-wise?
Not much. Not
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Because they got ballast in a lot of the ships, and they would compensate.
Yeah.
Yeah, water
Yeah.
ballast. Yeah, they use.
Well, they just space balance. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, air balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Well, it'll be interesting. I hope I
Yeah,
get a
but-
photo of it. If I get a picture
But
of
it does present an interesting scenario, does it not? If this is
Yeah.
somebody that's unaware of the fact that there's already some alien life forms here that are armed to the teeth, and it's going to show up to cause some trouble, this could get really interesting really
Yeah,
fast.
it can get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it really could. Yeah. Well, we'll see. What did you say? It was coming in November, Jack?
Maybe they just slowed down to come in because they're coming into port and they want to have like liberty and all that other
Liberty.
stuff. Come on.
It's-
Not everybody comes here to destroy our planet. Like.
Well, Elon's always said that he's an alien, so
Yeah,
maybe
from
they're
Mars.
coming
He's
down
from
to
Mars.
see.
That's what
Yeah.
it says. We got 30 seconds, Jack, and we'll be back.
Yeah, did you know there was a Nazi rocket scientist who wrote a science fiction book about a character of human that colonizes Mars, and his name was Elon.
Really,
No way.
that's something else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
I'm just surprised his name isn't John Carter. But anyways, here's your countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and back on the radio side right now, Jack.
Welcome back, everybody, to Paranormal Intelligence Agency Radio Live. I'm your host, Jack, here, your tour guide to the Twilight Zone. And tonight we're talking about incoming. We got a potentially hostile alien craft. It's out there. We were just discussing on break, the possibility that this is a less advanced alien life form than the ones that are already here. And isn't that an interesting scenario for a possibly hostile, however less advanced life form to show up wanting to cause some trouble, wanting to kick some dust up? And all of a sudden it runs into the fact that here on planet Earth, we've got these little guys called Greys, and they apparently have praying mantis overlords, and they're in contest with the reptilians. And this guy's going to show up wanting to cause some trouble, and he's going to run into a freak show. So how long do we think they're going to stay? I guess we could put that up as a prize for the show. We'll have people.
Jack, they're just here for asylum. Come on now. They're just here for asylum, you know.
Could be. They throw out the anchor, and all of the drunk alien sailors just come piling off, looking for the beautiful human women.
No. They're all military age. They're just here for, for asylum because they're war-torn world.
Well, that could very well be. It could be that they're on leave, and all I can say is watch out for the space herpes. It could be a case of that going on, but everybody's seen Spaceballs, I take it. I hope so. It's genius.
You just didn't say space herpes, did you?
I did, yes, from the movie Spaceballs. I did, in fact. We cover everything here on the PIA Radio Live. So, but here it is. Here's this ship. It's coming in. It's got some nefarious plans in mind, and all of a sudden you pull up, well, here's a Vice article, and it states, the U.S. Navy has patents on weird and little understood technology. According to patents filed by the Navy, it is working on compact fusion reactor that could power cities, an engine that works using inertial mass reduction, and a hybrid aerospace underwater craft dubbed the UFO Patents. The War Zone has reported that the Navy had to build prototypes of some of the outlandish tech to prove that it worked. How about that? That's right off the Vice website, guys. If you go to the War Zone, they have the same information. The U.S. Navy filed these patents. This was widely published, and people didn't all of a sudden foment an uproar about all of this having to absolutely had to have come from back engineered alien technology, right? The funny thing is the actual headline for the article is U.S. Navy has patents on tech it says will, quote, engineer the fabric of reality. Engineer the fabric of reality. Yeah, wrap your mind around that. That'll bend your noodle. The patents, as it goes on to say, all build on each other, but at their core is something called pi, is something Pies calls the Pies effect. This is the idea that, quote, controlled motion of electrically charged matter via accelerated vibration and or accelerated spin subjected to smooth yet rapid acceleration transients in order to generate extremely high energy / high intensity electromagnetic fields. Guys, that's the ultimate weapon. The absolute ultimate weapon. If you can generate high enough intensity electromagnetic fields, you can form a force field around the body of the craft that is impenetrable. That's exactly what Tesla had talked about, that he could build a device that would create basically a barrier, electromagnetic barrier over the United States that would be impenetrable to any kind of attack. And here, the U.S. Navy has patents saying that, yeah, we have it, we can do it, and we had to build some of this technology and show it to the patent office to prove that it worked. I wonder what that was like, to bring them into a room and say, yep, this is our little device, and it bends the fabric of reality as you know it. I wonder how that meeting went. That had to be interesting, right? It goes on to say, essentially, Pies is claiming to use properly spun electromagnetic fields to contain a fusion reaction. That plasma fusion reaction he claims to have invented will revolutionize power consumption. Experts theorize that a functioning fusion reactor would lead to cheap and ubiquitous energy. And what did the Webbot predict? It predicted that they would do exactly that. They would begin to introduce zero-point energy that they got from back-engineered alien technology that you paid for with your tax money. Period. Not only you, but your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-great-grandchildren, they're all going to be in debt because of it. So one of Pies and the Navy's patents described what the propulsion system and fusion drive would be used for, a, quote, hybrid aerospace underwater craft. I wonder where they got that idea from. Could it be because our Navy craft constantly are buzzed by these ships coming up out of the water of the ocean, apparently attracted to them like moths to a flame for their nuclear propulsion? That attraction between UFOs and nuclear anything is a major, if not the major, pattern regarding this entire phenomenon. But it goes on to say, according to the patent, the craft could travel land, sea, and outer space at incredible speeds. Other patents invented by Pies and filed by the Navy include a high-temperature superconductor, an electromagnetic field generator, and a high-frequency gravitational wave generator. A high-frequency gravitational wave generator. Do you know what you can do if you can generate artificially gravity? That is a weapon that is truly a super weapon. And you know, I'm going to have to touch on the fact that Richard Dolan, the ufologist, past couple of weeks, talked about how he believed that the Trump administration, certain officials within the Trump administration have so-called drunk the Kool-Aid, meaning that they have bought hook, line, and sinker the story that they've been told by the military industrial complex / intelligence ABC agencies, that this is such a high priority and it's so sensitive that if somebody successfully weaponized it against the United States, we'd be speaking Russian tomorrow or Chinese or what have you. And they believe it. But Trump has continually made little tiny statements about, oh, they don't even know what we have. Little statements about super weapons, little statements about how advanced we really are when it comes down to it. And that means that he's probably been read in somewhat to the situation. He's just been told and convinced that this is of such a sensitive nature and a high priority that we weaponize this successfully before our enemies do. And it looks like we have. I mean, they've got patents and working technology. And it goes on to say, it all sounds like science fiction. And the Navy has been skeptical too. Navy authorities called BS on Pies' inventions and his patents, went through a lengthy internal review at NAVAIR, the war zone obtained emails about the bureaucratic fight between Pies and the Navy through a Freedom of Information Act request and revealed that the mad scientist won. According to the patents, some of the technology is, quote, operable. That means the Navy is claiming some of Pies, quote, wild tech works and has been demonstrated to Navy officials. There you go, guys. This guy, this Dr. Pies, got his hands on alien technology and was successfully able to back engineer it to an operable mechanism, an operable machine. What else can we say but that, right? So here the Navy has back engineered technology. It's operational. They admitted it. It's right there in the Freedom of Information Act request that the war zone acquired. And the fact that they have operational alien technology, and now the intelligence agencies have to be fully aware of Dr. A.V. Loeb's claims that there is an incoming hostile alien craft that was directed here by an alien probe that already flew by the planet. You have to better believe they've got those craft, those U.S. UFOs are probably getting fired up as we speak. I bet you we begin to see all kinds of UFO activity reported at Area 51 as they begin to run drills using some of this alien technology, if nothing else, as a preparatory action for what might be a real alien crafted this way that is the size of Manhattan. That's a big craft, you know. What can you store on a craft the size of Manhattan? The WebBot makes it clear that the aliens that are already here on the planet, and by the way, will be here in November, they're not going anywhere, right? These aliens that are already on the planet have technology which seems to supersede a craft that has to travel here from that far of away, because the aliens that are here apparently or appear to possess a technology that allows them to bend space and time. In other words, they don't travel through space. They bend the fabric of space and jump from point A to point B without any time having gone by at all. This craft is having to take its time getting here. That seems to be a step down to me. And so what are we looking at? We're looking at a less technologically involved, perhaps, alien craft. It may not even be piloted by living beings. It might be a craft that is nothing but artificial intelligence. And let us not forget that it wasn't long ago that our own Voyager 1 spacecraft traveling through interstellar space went through the sort of bubble envelope caused by the sun as we're traveling behind it through space. And when it did, it flipped a cosmic switch. When it flipped that cosmic switch, all of a sudden, a download came to the human species through that spacecraft. That download, as I previously reported, came in the form of a geometric shape made up of mathematical geometrics that we have never even dreamed of before, but it was in the form of a human body. When the scientists viewed the shape, they instantaneously went through neurological changes in their brain structures. This was something that is even now still being studied by the scientists who are involved. That, let's call it alien brainworm, cosmic brainworm, is now downloaded into the consciousness of humanity, because we all share the same field of consciousness. And it's making all kinds of, who knows what it's doing. Who knows what kind of radical changes it could be causing in our species. But we tripped it. And that could also be the other reason for this object now headed our way. Could it be possibly that this idea I have of a type 3 civilization having colonized the entire galaxy got an indication that we were ready to be brought into the fold? We either flipped the switch or its probe said, yep, this one's ready to be plucked. Come and pluck it. Possible. Anything's possible. But what we do know is that we're in the throes of this summer of emergence. Many of these events have been predicted by the WebBot. And as we go into August, it does predict a little bit of a lull right before a huge wave of activity begins again this fall, September, October, and yes, November. When this craft arrives, all seems to fit this pattern that we are going to have surprise after surprise after surprise. Secret after secret after secret becomes revealed. And with every one of those secrets, with every one of those events, it's like a little earthquake in the consciousness of humanity. And we're slowly going to get through this major period of upheaval. I said I would mention the predictions, both WebBot predictions and remote viewing predictions. So it's important to point out that the WebBot, quite independently, it doesn't pay attention to remote viewing groups, predicted the same outcome for cryptocurrency right now in this event stream that's happening literally right now before our eyes. The same exact thing that's being predicted by Dick Algire's group, the Future Forecasting Group, who runs a paid for business remote viewing future cryptocurrency prices for clients. And they do quite well. In fact, Dick Algire has done so well at it that he's been able to purchase a multi-million-dollar home in Honolulu simply by following the predictions of his group concerning the cryptocurrency Ethereum. But the prediction is that there's going to be a vast economic change worldwide from currencies the way we understand them to this whole new blockchain idea of currencies. And that transition causes, as you can imagine, will cause a lot of societal change. And with that, a lot of upheaval will occur. But in the long run, it will take over and will become sort of the whole way that the future is run is through this blockchain technology. So that, just be aware that that is out there, along with the prediction that the ability of the central banks around the world and the banking cabal that's been in power on this planet for as long as banking has been around, are going to lose control slowly but surely. And when they do, that's when all of this alien technology really begins to make its way out into the public. Don't forget that one of the major cyber prophecies is the decoupling of time. We are going to come up to a period here in our event stream, and these days I don't like to call it time. I like to call it the event stream. Time is an illusion. time does not exist. You will never truly die. There is no true ending, only transformation. And our whole idea of time is going to change radically to a point where we begin to live our lives around developing technology which will sense the outcome of probabilities before they occur. And you will literally spend your days preparing yourself for the next event about to manifest in your event stream. You will know it's coming. An event in your life. Your event stream is your life. You will know when an event in your life is about to occur ahead of time. These probability patterns are known as qualia. If you want to get down and dirty with the details of theoretical physics and mathematics and alien technology, but it's referred to by insiders as qualia. This qualia can be detected, and there will be technology devised to detect it, and everyone will possess one of these machines which will detect an event about to manifest in your own event stream. That's how radical everything changes. And it's going to change in your lifetime. That's even more radical, right? That's some fast change. And I had this conversation last week about ontological shock with a few people who were like, I doubt ontological shock is real and all of this stuff. Well, it's very real. And if we can survive the ontological shock of having our entire idea of reality completely wiped out and replaced with something new as a species, then we're going to go on to great things. But that's a big if. And we're going to have to go through a period of ontological shock. Maybe it begins in November. But what's interesting is that in any crash, an ontological shock would be a crash of our accepted reality structure. The amount of damage that occurs is often dictated by the rate of descent, whether it be a plane crash or whether it be a society. And so a slow grinding down of the old way and slowly into the new way is going to cause a lot less upheaval and a lot less damage than a sudden spike downward. So cross your fingers. Here's to the idea that we don't have that sudden spike downward. And keep in mind, the universe has put us into this place, maybe, just maybe, we're the nasty little surprise for another life form. And join me next week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central. We will talk about another crazy paranormal happening going on in the world. I'm your host, Jack Carey. I'll see you then.
Awesome job, Jack.
Thanks.
You really know how to bring the doom and gloom.
No,
got the aliens are coming, and look out, there's some other bastards coming right behind them too, and make it worse. Our bastards here are going to take and mess them up even worse, or make it worse. Right. I'm like, okay, there you go.
You tune into my show, you expect to be scared. Well,
I'm like, no, not scared, but shocked maybe, but we're gonna wait until this call runs out, and then I'm gonna call Nancy's group. And are you gonna come over with us for a little while?
I can't. I got to go with my wife actually tonight. I'm taking her to her volleyball game, so. But I will next week. I should be around on Wednesday night.
All right. Zombie Zach says hi from TMV Cafe. He just took over after us, after we cleared stream over there.
Nice.
All right.
And I've got to finish. I got one painting I got to finish tonight. I got a gallery showing again on Friday night.
Oh,
So,
that's good. That's good, Jack.
thank you. Yeah, I got 9 paintings on display over there, and I've sold 3 paintings since my paintings went up in the gallery. So that's great.
Wow, that's even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sir. How's the storms in Florida?
Oh, well, we had a little bit. It's just the heat. I took a picture about, what was it, July 8th, where it was 120.
All right. We're going to get over to the Vixen's Vault. Join the Legion of Chaos, because I have more. That's right, more radio and more shows coming. Well, one more show coming tonight. So we're going to get this up and going. And get the group together. Request to join, request to join, request. Jason, come on.
You doing?
I'm a-doing.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Nance. Over for
hey, Mark.
For us. Oh, it looks like we already
did
that
in
on
there.
OBS.
How you doing?
That's good. I'm a-doing. Jack can't make it in. He has to do something with his wife, and also we have. I don't know if Jason's coming in or not. Oh, Jack has to finish a painting up tonight. Where'd David go?
Don't know.
He was here.
Give him a minute.
Yeah, he was still talking to Jack.
So I had to get everything sorted. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I can
sir.
hear you.
Okay. But yeah,
I said hi.
I know I heard you. I just couldn't answer back because I was like switching everything out on going from Kick to get the audio to coming on here. I have to make sure I don't.
Gotcha.
Raph coming in with us tonight, or is he off?
No, he's going to sleep. He's been working. He's got a job in Tampa that he's got to be there by like 6 a.m. So,
all right.
He
Sorry,
is
I did
busy.
buzz him. Let me see if I can
that's
get
all right.
Sonia in with us. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit over here to the side and finish doing my notes. Tonight's my
Copy that.
Okay. You got 30 seconds, Nance, and then we'll get you going. I know
Hey, man,
normally we have a lot more folks in here, but
Yeah, but it's been a weird 24 hours, dude.
yeah. Here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you were live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome, folks, to the Vixen's Vault. Today's date is July 30th, 2025. It is, what time is it? 8:00 p.m. actually on the dot. There we go. Welcome to, or 9:00 p.m. on the dot. Sorry about that. Welcome to the show. What a week we've had. Actually, what a 24 hours we've had. Last night, actually, right around this time, there was a quake right off the coast of Russia. I believe it was its eastern coast. And it was interesting because when the quake first happened, the first report I saw, it came in at an 8.0 on the Richter scale. And, actually it was the first 10 minutes of reports. It was everything kept saying 8.0. And all of a sudden, it goes, not joking, from 8.0 to 8.7. And then Kirk is up one more time within the last hour to 8.8. Now, 8.8, even an 8.0 is a big quake. 8.8 is one of the largest quakes in history. No joke, folks. In fact, the past decade, it is definitely the largest. Only overshadowed by, I believe it was Japan, the quake off Fukushima. But again, this quake rattled the eastern seaboard of Russia, and it actually caused quite a bit of destruction. But what's interesting about it is that it issued, of course, tsunami alerts. It triggered them all the way from Japan to Hawaii to Alaska, British Columbia, down to Washington State, Oregon, California, even LA was under tsunami alert. Now, again, guys, it's interesting because there's been a tremendous amount of seismic activity. There's been a tremendous amount of volcanic activity in the past year. Well, of course, everybody in the world and their mother's a commentator, including myself. I'm guilty too. And we're all posting information. And somebody took a moment to post basically the current quake and volcanic activity in, I guess you could say, in a way where it showed the ring of fire. And it showed the actual activity surrounding the ring of fire. In other words, exactly what's lit up. And I found it really awkward because I'm looking at this map and I'm looking at the ring of fire and I'm looking at all the earthquake and volcanic activity. And by the way, that quake yesterday in Russia actually triggered one of Russia's largest volcanoes, which began erupting like an MFer, like within, I think it was 2 hours of the quake. So, they've got a lot of stuff going on over there. But when I'm looking at the ring of fire, everything is lit up. I mean, it's almost a perfect circle except for one area. The western seaboard of the United States is the only thing that really hasn't had that much activity, not large activity. I mean, they've had tremors and they've had swarms, but they're not getting what everybody else on the ring of fire is getting. And I found that really strange. I was like, well, isn't that convenient? Gee, look who's being preserved. Now, what I found even more interesting is, again, when you looked at all the other conditions going on, insofar as EMF, insofar as solar activity, this quake didn't make sense. And it was interesting because I follow somebody out there by the name of Alaskan Skywatcher. He's an incredible researcher who researches these events to the most finite nodule you can possibly imagine. And it's not just like volcanic and seismic. He literally researches volcanic, seismic, weather-related catastrophes, anything you can imagine under the sun that deals with natural environmental issues. One of the first things that man posted this morning was how this was not in any way, shape, or form a natural quake off the coast of Russia. One reason being was its depth. The second reason being the way the EMFs were moving in the area of the quake zone when the quake occurred, and how those EMFs were not natural EMFs. Now, I found that very interesting because it's something I've been saying for decades, and Mark will back me up on that they've been using EMF as a weapon for a while now. It's not something short term. It's not something that just cropped up in the last 2 years, folks. They have literally utilized EMF as a weapon since the 1970s, as far as we know. It probably goes back a lot further than that. Why? EMFs are a very destructive frequency, not just to your natural environment, but it's also something that affects humans, animals at all levels. It affects us on a neurological level in a bad way, a really bad way. And it's interesting because the reason I know that is because of the work I did in the paranormal. One of the first things you learn when you start doing paranormal investigation and you're kind of serious about it, you're not doing it for religious reasons, you're not doing it to find your soul, you're not doing it to say hi to grandma, you're doing it because you really kind of want to know what is going on. And so you're looking at ways to debunk what you're encountering, I guess you could say. One of the first things you learn is about EMF, electromagnetic frequency, both natural and man-made. And when I say natural and man-made, there are forms of EMF that are naturally emitted, and then there's forms of EMF that come from like man-made generated electricity. Electrical wiring, if an electrical wire frays, it will actually cause your EMF to spike through the roof, and it can cause you issues. Your cell phones emit EMF. You should never, ever, ever, ever sleep with a cell phone next to your head. It is one of the stupidest things you could ever possibly do, besides having maybe a laptop next to your head. Really not intelligent. Why? Because these things emit EMF, they emit radiation, and they cause you nightmares, they cause you headaches, they can cause you nausea. In fact, it's funny because a lot of people go to doctors since the age of, I guess you actually, cell phone technology has got to be the worst. It did peak a little bit when laptops became a thing because nobody ever put a desktop computer next to their bed. You didn't put it on your nightstand. It didn't fit, to be very honest with you. Just not even close. But laptops kind of made it, yeah, people got lazy. They would play on their computers late at night, do the chat rooms, do the 1990, 2000 stuff, surfing around, up to no good, bored, unable to sleep. One of the reasons you were probably unable to sleep is because you were surfing on the computer that late at night, and the frequencies that are coming from the computer are not really healthy for your brain. So you'd put it on your nightstand. That would be mistake number 2. We do that with our cell phones. I can't tell you how many people I know who put their cell phones on their nightstand. And I always tell them, okay, you really need to get online and do a little homework. And look at the type of frequencies and energy that these cell phones bleed out, because it will mess completely with your neural signals in a huge way. And if you don't believe me, call your doctor and ask your doctor what EMFs can do to your brain, what they can do to your sleep cycle, what they can do insofar as headaches, nausea, all that. That's why during solar flares, people don't understand. I always tell people, one of the ways you can tell there's a solar flare. I'm getting feedback, Mark. Do you hear that?
No, I don't hear it on my end.
Okay, that was weird.
Going on. Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, are you using your phone?
Yeah, but I'm on a headset. No, I'm up on a headset, so it shouldn't be the phone. But either way, doesn't matter. Back to my train of thought. So basically, when you expose yourselves to high levels of EMF, it can cause multiple symptoms. But like when there's a solar storm, we're exposed to high levels of EMF. We're exposed to ionics like you would not believe. As humans, we don't realize it, but it causes anxiety to go through the roof. That is not me, just sitting here and giving y'all a little spiel about things I don't know about. That is medically proven. They will literally, there's a lot of science that backs that up. Elevated EMFs cause us to have anxiety, headaches, nausea, you name it. Why? Well, because I did paranormal investigation. I wanted to know why. Why would EMF cause me to, feel anxiety? Why would it make me feel, a little lopsided? Actually, a lot lopsided, depending on how strong it was. Why would that occur? Well, it's because we have magnetite in our brains. It's one of those little things that you don't really know about humans. Humans are migratory species. We actually have magnetite embedded in the pineal gland in our brain. It helps us directionally find which way we're going. It's the same with birds. It's the same with fish. It's the same with whales and any migratory species. They all have magnetite embedded in their brain. That's why during solar storms, you'll see these bird flocks that start going the wrong way. It's because the EMF is affecting the magnetite in their brain. They directionally cannot figure out which way to go. They get lost. Same thing with fish. Same thing with any kind of migratory species. Now you've got to look at the fact that right now we are having, they're saying that the Earth has, I think it's tilted something, 32 inches? I forget, but it was, we're tilting differently. And they're saying this has occurred within the last 2 to 3 years, which, again, I'm calling BS on that because I'm sorry. Yeah, a tilt like that, no. It's just none of the stuff that they're coming up with to give us reasonings. The rain in the States. We are having more catastrophic rain events here than I can possibly tell you. It's like every state has had a catastrophic rain event. The press pumps it out of control, like in Florida recently, not a rain event, but in my area of Florida, I'm in the Tampa Bay area. And supposedly we broke a record twice this week. Once was because we hit 100 degrees solid on the thermometer, right? 100 degrees. I think the feels like temperature was like 128 degrees. Feels like temperature, for those of you who don't understand that, is when you factor the heat with the humidity. So it could be 100 degrees outside, but if we have like 90 to 95% humidity, it's going to be between 100. If it's registering at 100 degrees, it'll be about a feels like of about 120. Okay, so it's hot. But when they said that on the news, I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. I have lived in Florida since 1976. I can remember at least 3 other occasions where we hit 100 degrees. So I don't know what this, we just broke this 100-year record thing is coming from with the press, but yeah, they're idiots, or somebody was trying to change historical data and cause a panic. Florida is a hot state. And I keep telling people that, guys, you're in a subtropical environment. It's not comfortable here in the summer. Ever. Like ever. It is akin to hell here in the summertime with the hot wind and everything. It's Florida. You know, this is our environment. This is subtropically where we're at. You reached that on, like last night. I posted a video on my Facebook. I sat outside last night watching, I was looking east. East of me would be Tampa. I'm actually right on the water on the west coast of Florida, central Florida. So I'm looking to the east, which would be Tampa. Literally, I could not, but the sky was lit up for, I'm not joking, almost 3 hours straight. And guys, this is with no break, of lightning. Just constant lightning for almost 3 hours. I've lived here again since 1970. I have never seen anything like that. And it wasn't normal lightning. And I keep saying that. It was not like cloud to ground, ground to cloud. It was not storm lightning. It was like heat lightning. Heat lightning in Florida, for those who don't understand, it looks like, I always say it looks like the veins in a skull. It's just, it doesn't go up or down. It goes sideways. And it's very, very interesting to watch, but usually when we have heat lightning, it's very limited. This, I mean, it literally lit the sky up to the point where I videoed it, put it on my Facebook, because I was like, I've never seen anything like this. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking, but there's no thunder. There's no rain. It's just light. I mean, blinding light. And it was funny because woke up this morning and my local news had done a thing on it, saying how it was our meteorologist saying, I've never seen anything like that. That was crazy. All right, and I'm not trying to make y'all laugh, but honest to God, it felt like an alien invasion. And I am not joking. I'm looking over to the east going, is there a war going on in Tampa that I'm unaware of? I mean, what is going on? And it, like I said, all these weird anomalies occurring. Rain, lightning for hours and hours and hours nonstop. I mean, just nonstop. Fires. I know Europe is like literally having fires everywhere right now. In fact, I was looking at a map thing of it. It's like almost every nation in Europe right now is having fires. Over here, you had Maui that burned not even 8 months ago, and now it's underwater because it did get hit with a tsunami, which I find interesting because it was very hard to find any information on that today. They were putting all the tsunami alerts out last night. They were screaming, everybody get out of the coastal areas. And yet the actual video of the tsunami coming in was hard to find. Did I find it? Yeah, I found it, but it was not an easy thing. And I'm like, so I'm trying to understand what is happening. I know, like I said, the earthquake off Russia, all of the indicators we're seeing are telling us that was not a natural quake. Even though they're saying it was a subduction zone, that it was, an area that had one had slid under the other. This is normal. Da, 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 da. No, it was not at that depth. And that's what I keep saying. These quakes are too shallow, at least for something like that, for a snap that large. They're way too shallow. Did you up there? Hi, Vicky.
Hello.
Oh, there's GB. Yeah, I mean, the quakes are not coming in where they should be coming in at when it comes to the depth. And I keep telling people that. Look at the depth of the quake. If you're looking at 10 kilometers or less, there's a very good chance that that's a man-made quake. Very, very, very good chance, depending on where it is. This area in Russia, no, it should never have been below that depth or above that depth. It should have been way below that depth. And it wasn't. And people, again, look at the timing of it. Look at all the other things going on right now, the location.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's a weapon. That's a freaking weapon. And I know Mark, I could see Mark doing that skeptic face.
Yeah.
He's doing
I'm only thinking this because I did watch a thing put out by the Lotus Eaters just before, actually about 8-9 hours ago, and I was watching it just before this. The Kamashati earthquake. It was off this east of Asia, really, so the Pacific, and affected Japan quite badly. As far as we are aware, there's been no fatalities, thank God.
Nope.
But
I did see some video though out of Russia, dude. That was scary. I mean, and that was a very elongated shake. I was like, I mean, we see video here from like California quakes, Washington State quakes, and pretty much the whole West Coast. You'll see the little shakers that go on, but this thing shook for a while. I mean, this one woman, there was a video of a woman inside her house. You could see all her furniture moving, and it was like for a good 45 seconds she's in the house, and then she runs outside. I mean, I'm not joking. These cars are like lifting up and down off the ground for another almost minute. I'm like, that was a very long shake, a very long one. And then it followed up, I think earlier today, they got hit with a 6.4, which is actually a really, really large aftershock, if it was an aftershock. And, like I keep saying, it's not deep enough for that area. It's not at the depth it should be at for that area. And then you had these targeted like waves of EMF right simultaneous at that time, right before that quake struck. And I'm like, again, it's one of these things where people can roll their eyes all they want. But if you think that these countries and these nations and these, shall we say, shadow government institutions, private as well as governmental, do not have that type of weaponry, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention, and it's going to get really bad really fast because you're going to buy every stupid story they sell you and believe them, and in the interim, the house is falling down on you.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. And it also damaged they could damage the sub base they have.
Well,
but it was they sent it out to the heart. Yeah. It was done on purpose.
It just, like I said, it took the eyes off the situation that's compounding in Israel and getting really bad over there, Gaza. I mean, again, it's getting bad. I mean, because Israel's being called out. And they're not happy with that at all. Go figure out that one.
Is Israel being called out, or is the United Nations and various NGOs being called out?
There's both sides are being called out right now because Israel, like literally, is sitting there trying to tell the world that they are 100% providing for the people of Gaza, and they're not. Mm-hmm. They're not. Even we know that over here, and we're the ones supplying most of the stuff that's supposed to be going to the people of Gaza. That's American money that went into that. It's like our taxpayers study went into that.
A lot of it's being managed, handled by NGOs, non-governmental organizations,
as
such
well.
as
Yeah.
the United
And
Nations.
Hamas is getting it.
Hamas is getting it, which is interesting because, again, you have that connection between Hamas and Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah. They invented
Which-
it.
I mean, literally, they put it in. It's like, again, if you're not questioning, and the fact that, again, Israel is trying to forcefully block any negative information at all. I mean, to the point where they're trying to get laws passed here in the States by our own states, making it anti-Semitic to say anything against their. No, there's no better way to make you look guilty than to try to force a society to not look past the tip of their nose at what you're doing.
Yeah. Can you believe that? That's crazy.
Sorry, but on the other hand, Hamas is not allowing information to come out. Hamas is vetting journalists, so-called journalists, and there are journalists that are Hamas supporters, which, as we all know, are a terrorist organisation, both in the US and in the UK.
Mark.
And in fact, in the UK, there is the government is trying to provide a government, or is in the middle of creating a governmental definition for Islamophobia. So it's on a similar sort of guise as what you're saying with Israel.
Yep. What I'm thinking, and here's the thing, and here's what bothers me, Mark. Hamas and Israel are linked at the hip.
Yeah.
They're not enemies.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I am so tired of people saying one is literally an arm of the other. Israel needed war to go in and take Gaza. Hamas was financed by Israel. It was put in power by Israel.
Yes.
Arguably,
BB
they may not have
specifically.
been an enemy at one point, but
No.
because you were a friend with somebody at one point doesn't mean you're going to be a friend with them forever.
They weren't friends, though. They were put in there to try to control the PLO.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The PLO were actually about liberating the Palestinians. That was their thing. That was, and that's why Rabin was able to negotiate peace with the PLO. But, more to your point, yesterday, there was actually a Jewish settler shot and killed somebody he thought was Hamas, and it wasn't. It was actually a young man. He was a young man who was over there. He was actually with an aid thing, but there was what I'm saying was there was nothing that provoked it. The settler just said, this is my land now, shot and killed the guy. And unfortunately for him, there were UN people around who caught it on film. So Israel was forced to arrest him, but get this one. And I said, oh, this is a joke. They arrested him and released him on house arrest. I said, this is why the Gazans do what they do. Because this is not the first time this has happened. It's been happening for decades. And they're showing.
Sorry.
When
but in a practice situation, you are going to have accidents. You are going to have mistakes. And
but Mark, it's not the settlers' property. It's not their property. They're going in there and forcefully taking the property from the Gazans and their families. Okay, it's just like they did in Lebanon. They did the same thing. And literally, when something goes wrong, you say, "Oh, well, things are going to happen." I'm sorry, if that was a Gazan that shot an Israeli person for stepping foot on their land, it wouldn't be a house arrest deal. Their whole family would be dead. Yeah. That's how that would end. Yeah. So fair is fair, and balanced is balanced. And like I said, I'm tired of people defending behavior that is not defendable. It's not, you cannot defend that behavior. That is not freedom. That is not liberation. That is not a free society. That is 100%, tyrannical. And it's not There's no saying it wasn't the Gazans' property. Their families have been there for close to 1,000 years.
The thing
You know,
with me and
in a war zone, you're going to have atrocities committed. War is bloody
are you putting
occupation in the
Me-
first place.
me and Mark were
Mark.
actually, we've had this conversation plenty of times before, and it's like something I keep trying to talk to him about, and he's got, well, it's basically the same mentality that most people in England have, because like we've had a conversation about this island that's out in the middle of the Indian Ocean, that like all the people that were natives to their island was immigrated to London and given shitloads of money, and they like live in the richest neighborhoods, and now they're saying, I'm so and so from this island and I want my island back, you know. And that's the way the English does things, you know what I mean? That's the way they did it with Israel. You know,
Roger, hold that thought because I've run over it. I've got to take it out to break.
No, keep going. We'll take the break at the 40-minute mark then.
you know,
You
40
went
minutes? Okay.
over too far.
Okay.
but
Well, I mean, here's the thing, too. In defense of England, in defense of Great Britain, they've been swamped with the Arabic. They literally, to the point where the Arabic are now almost like the ruling class in
it's a
England.
belief system of theirs, though. They don't believe that the Arabs have rights to the Gaza Strip because they weren't recognized as an actual state.
Correct.
Actually, I was watching a interview with a ex foreign minister, or not foreign minister, but embassy official, consulate official, ex-consulate official earlier today, and he was talking about who was actually based in, stationed in, I can't remember if it was Israel, Palestine, but he was pointing out, what's the Accords?
Abrahamic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Abrahamic.
Yeah,
Accords,
yeah. We're talking about the Abrahamic Accords and the Belford Treaty or Belford signatories, and according to those documents, we, the British, did allow for I won't say access, a provision in there to allow for Palestinians to be within that area. Hence, why Palestine still exists now.
Well, I know Canada is officially going to recognize Palestine within the next month. I know Trump has said he will officially recognize Palestine. And the thing is that in fairness, what happened with the Balfour Agreement was an absolute desecration. It should never have been allowed to happen. And it happened out of guilt for what occurred during World War II. I understand that, but that doesn't make it.
I'm talking about the 1917 version,
No.
the first original.
No, you're talking about the Balfour Agreement, the Rothschild Agreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, you know, it went beyond the pale, and nobody watched when the resettlements occurred. Nobody was watching what land was taken. Nobody made any accommodations for the people that were there. They were thrown into the dirt, treated our slaves better than the Palestinians get treated over there. It's horrific. It really is. Even the Israelis know that. I mean, it's
Well, there's really kind of two parts to that, because, you know, if you listen to interviews now of people there, they don't. There's differences as far as it's very, this is a really hard thing as far as, you know, like Amir Sarfati, who reports all the time. He's like, well, you know, they a lot of the Gazans, they act like, you know, they're being mistreated and stuff. You know, they'll go throw trash out there and look really terrible. And Amir has a tour company, so they take tourists around, and so they see this happening, but it's not actually the way things are. And that's what's so hard. That's what's so hard about this situation, is because we're not getting the real truth of what's going on. And
I think
We're
I think
not. We're not getting it. Like just the whole Hamas thing. I mean, Bibi started that. The Israelis have to have some boogeyman to
yep,
always be defending against. And Hamas, they formed that to that, oh, we've got to, we've got those Iranians over here and the Hamas people over here, and they're an existential threat. And that's what they need to keep the wars going. Okay, that's where, and so you got Hamas under there, and they're taking the food and everything that's put for the people, and sometimes the people, we hear the people are kind of, they're hiding Hamas, and other times other people are like, hey, we didn't have any problem beforehand. We got along with the Israelis just fine.
yep.
And that's from, so, this is just so hard. And
But they do it. They complicate it on purpose, and it's the
yes, they
Hegelian
do.
dialectic. I mean, and I've
Yes.
said that. If you understand what the Hegelian dialectic is, you
Uh-huh.
can read it in the situation, and that's what this is. It's the Hegelian dialectic. They are literally created a situation. They have stirred the pot, and they're going to come in the conquering hero. That
Right.
is the Hegelian dialectic.
And
And-
Bibi wants the wars to keep going,
Yes.
And Bibi's on trial right now, right? Or at least the first time. And they had actually stopped the trial so he could go in and with the Iranian bombing or whatever they were doing, there. So they want war. They want it to distract from whatever. And we all know what Bibi's up to. But
like I said, I find it very interesting that you have two incendiary situations occurring simultaneously. Okay, you've got Israel, and then you've got Ukraine, and they're actually linked at the hip, which is very interesting. Also to note, yeah, definitely their governments are linked at the hip. Then you've got the Russians, and you've got the Iranians, and our press over here. I don't know about England, but I know in the States they tend to play Ukraine as winning, which I think is just hysterical, because I'm like, that's just the stupidest fairy tale I've ever heard in my life. I don't know who is going to really buy
what
into
planet are
that.
they on?
I mean,
know.
It's kind of like the storyline, oh, China's broke. Okay, I don't know what cliff you fell off of, but you've not been keeping track of how much gold China has. Because trust me, she is far from broke. Not even close. Her markets may be unsteady, but China itself has got plenty of money. Plus, she holds all the mortgage notes here in the United States from anything from like 2000 to 2008. Why? Because we did this thing called the stimulus. And then we followed that up with what they called the omnibus of 2007, 2008, when our housing market went through the floor. And guess who financed that? China did. And in return, a very large portion of the active mortgages within the continental United States were given to China as a basic, I don't know, hold it, as collateral. Most people do not know that. China could call that note in any day of the week. That's why I laugh. Every time people say,
well, no, they can't.
Other people did as well. Black Rock as an example.
Well, did you see that
there's
shooting?
Certain executive orders which kind of take over those, but we won't talk about that right now. Go ahead.
On the point of Palestine, on the British government and under David Lammy, our foreign minister, just yesterday, and I'm not a big fan of David Lammy at all. I'll put that in. But David Lammy, after a couple of days, I think maybe 2 days after the government went into recess, announced that if by September Israel doesn't create a ceasefire, we will recognize Palestine as a state in itself. So the two-state solution sort of point. And I just wanted to read out something that Andrew Neil, quite a well-known journalist, somebody that I do have, British journalist, somebody that I do have some respect for, even though I may not agree with him all the time, but something that I do have a respect for, tweeted just yesterday. He stated, and I quote, the British government's position over recognizing Palestine is unraveling fast tonight, because the announcement was just made yesterday, or at least the bereft of logical explanation. From official UK government statements, it seems that Keir Starmer's position is that if a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel is reached because Hamas releases all hostages, the UK will not recognise Palestine. Not sure what's in it for Hamas, but if no ceasefire is reached because Hamas refuses to release all hostages, the UK will recognise Palestine, whatever that means. Talk about perverse incentives. With Starmer in Downing Street and Lamy at the Foreign Office, they are increasingly the keystone cops of the UK foreign policy, unquote. So in effect, if Hamas doesn't release all hostages, then we the Brits will be, or the British government will be given an incentive to Hamas.
Yep.
To create to make them a sort of, I don't know, semi-legitimate government, and recognising the state. But if Hamas releases the hostages, then the war continues. There won't be any ceasefire, which is perverse.
Again, like doesn't it just like a warmonger type move? Because if Hamas does not release the hostages and gets recognized, the war is going to amp up over there. Which again, for the war hawks, both the United States and the UK, that's a good thing. Because they're going to be supplying, they're going to be involved, they're going to, they're going to make money off the back end of it. And that's, I always say that, look where the money's going to go. That's usually going to be your answer as to what they're.
I also believe that France is taking a similar stance as that as well.
Yep. All right. But hang in there, folks. I'm going to take us out to our first break. Again, we'll be back in just a few moments with the Vixen Spot. We will continue with this conversation because it is a very dynamically interesting one. And it does matter where you live as to what information you're getting. Because like I said, over here in the States, it's all, Israel is wonderful and you can't say anything bad about them. That is literally what our press puts out. The stories change depending on where you're at. Europe looks at it differently. Russia looks at it differently. We all have different views of it. Hang in there, guys. We will return in just a few moments.
All right, we're on radio break.
And like I said, Mark, I feel bad for England because you guys really, you let your government get kind of overtaken by another.
Hold on here. All right, DK mentioned something too. Was asking if anybody else could find anything about the tsunami alert went out. He didn't find anything else outside of mainstream media.
Hang on, I can.
And then there was.
I stuck in the a link
then
to the YouTube thing, the Lotus Eaters into the chat here. You might want to pass on.
Also too. What else was there? Something about the Balfour Agreement. He said that was in 1914 or something like that. Before World War II.
There's two copies. There's two versions, 1917 and 19.
Yeah, it was signed in 1914, not after World War II, is what he said.
No, not signed. It was not signed in 14. It was not signed during World War I. I can tell you that. The Balfour it was signed at the very end cusp of World War I. But literally, it was not put into effect or effective until after World War II, where they doubled down on it.
Okay.
It was and it was literally a banker move. And I've said that since day one. That was 100% a Zionist, they just wanted a piece of land over there. And
All right. He said he saw a video on it that was only like 18 seconds. Balfour Declaration was signed in 1914. That's what he said, not after World War II, because he said that's not what he said. Okay. 1917? No.
Yeah. I've done plenty of research on this, mate. As you are aware, I'm a bit of an historian when it comes to these things. It is 1917.
But it was put in place in 48.
It was issued. The government
was there before.
It was 1917 was when the British government.
1917 is when it was written. 48 is when it was put in place.
Correct.
Okay,
but
there we go.
No, Israel existed. That's why they were telling people to go there before, or before World War II came out. It existed. Are you saying that Israel didn't exist?
No,
48.
No.
What the Balfour Agreement did was it was a declaration of a specifically Jewish state. Okay, and it really had nothing to do with Israel per se.
It was called Palestine at that point.
Right. Okay. Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, they wanted, and I found it very interesting because Jewish at that point, when they wrote the Balfour, it was not about your genetics. It was about your belief. That's how the Zionists ended up over there. That's why I keep saying, guys, just a little mental note here. 90% of Israeli society doesn't have ancient Jewish blood.
Right.
They have European blood.
Mm-hmm.
They're Eastern European.
I don't know what happened to our next chat group, so that when we take a break from this, what we'll do is we'll come right back into this same room. All right? You there, David?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Couldn't get you in before. You didn't. You wouldn't let you hang up. 30 seconds, Nancy, until we come back on the radio side.
Yeah, so I mean, it opened it up. It gave that plot of land to a bunch of Eastern Europeans who were attached to the Rothschild Bank.
Right.
Also,
that's what he's saying too. When England pulled out, and that's why it's called the State of Israel, not Israel as a country. Here's your countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
9:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. Welcome back, folks, to the Vixen's Vault. A very cantankerous break we had. Not really. We did have some questions from the chat from DK, or actually questions and statements, I guess you could say, where we were discussing the Balfour Agreement. And in a way, the Balfour Agreement really annoys the snot out of me. I got to tell y'all very honestly, if you haven't picked that up from recent conversations, because it's something that literally took a chunk of land where people had been settled for a long time, and whether or not it was under British rule, because at that time, that area was under British control. During World War II, Palestine was controlled by England. And a lot of people don't know that, but that is the truth of it. So that is why the Balfour Agreement was actually ratified in England, not, it did go through the UN to actually be enacted, but it was ratified in England. Why? Because England had control of that area.
Technically, it wasn't the UN, it was the League of Nations at the time.
Right. Correct.
Actually, it would have been the UN because it was on the cusp.
Yep.
Another thing I wanted to say, and a lot of people seem to ignore, is Saudi Arabia influence in this, because this is the creation where Saudi Arabia became a unified country as well.
Yep. Well, that and the Saudi market a lot of interest, and I think, practically speaking, the Saudis I think they're very duplicitous. And I say that all the time because they tend to play both sides of the table. And you see them aligning with Israel, and yet you know that they're still kind of handshaking and smirking with Iran. And because Iran is their Arabic brothers. And like I said, there's no getting around that. Even 9/11, Saudi was deeply involved in what happened here. And do we blame the Saudi government? Well, yeah, I think some of them. And I do believe they were actually taking care of those who were involved in the planning of 9/11. Because if you notice, there was quite a few Saudi princes who didn't survive very long. Have not survived the last 25 years. We'll put it that way.
I was also just going to. I was just thinking that this is also at the when the Ottoman Empire collapsed. World War One collapsed the Ottoman Empire, and arguably that had some effect as well.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Well, and people don't realize how large the Ottoman Empire actually was. It was quite vast, and it was for many, many, many centuries quite powerful. But yeah, they were. That was a very large empire and very influential because it was all the trade routes to the east. And it's like I said that the Ottoman Empire controlled the trade routes, and the Rothschild banks wanted those trade routes. That's one of the reasons I always say that. Look at who controlled the shipping. Look at who controlled the banking. That should tell you who was in control. Whether or not they were sitting in Israel did not matter. They controlled it all. And that was literally the Eastern European Jews. And in the Far East, it was the Jewish families also, the Sasson family. And, a lot of people don't look into the Sasson family. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, they're another one. I mean, they say their roots come out of Baghdad. I was like, but they control the Far East. I said, the banks, all of it. Look at what they control over there. It's vast. I was like, so you're looking at a monopoly in many, many ways of one particular group of people. And they claim religion as a shield. That's where I have a problem. That is my biggest problem with it, is that they claim if you speak against them that you are anti-religious. You're going against their religion. No, I'm going against your politics. I'm going against your thirst to own everything, rule everything, and make us think that you're benevolent. No. Seeing right through you, because there's centuries of history that show us exactly what your patterns are. And you can either choose to acknowledge those patterns or ignore them. Right now, I think you're starting to see another rising where people are beginning to acknowledge the patterns, and they're kind of through the fear. One of the reasons they're punching through the fear is because it's being forced down their throats that they can't say anything bad about them. That's, like I said, no better way to say guilty than tell everybody not speak about them. Part of learning, and I use Trump as my example because I'm like, Trump was president of the United States. I have never in my life, including Bibi Netanyahu, have ever seen anybody targeted the way that man got targeted in the nastiest, most horrific ways you can possibly. I mean, his name got linked to the nastiest crimes and the nastiest stuff. And people always say, well, he is really rich, so it's possible. No, there's a boatload of paperwork that says otherwise. Document. It's like the Epstein files. People keep saying, oh, he won't release him because he was on the Lolita. No, he was not on the Lolita. That's documented. He was never on the Lolita. He was on a jet that went from West Palm to New Jersey in the 1990s. He did what we call a jump. He jumped on with Epstein. There was no problem. But I found very interesting, I think it was yesterday or a day before he got released, that Trump made a statement about the victims that had come from Mar-a-Lago. And I tried to tell people Trump and Epstein from Mar-a-Lago in the late 1990s. And he helped the prosecution in the state of Florida go after Epstein in 2008. Well, I did not know that Virginia Goffrey was one of the girls that got molested by Epstein at Mar-a-Lago. I had no idea. I was like, oh no. Well, but Trump actually released that in a statement. I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm hearing something's going on in somebody's background.
There ain't nothing right.
Somebody's talking.
Sorry.
Oh, is that you? Is that you, Vic? She muted out. I'm like, is that me? Is that my brain injury?
No,
my
no.
brain
No, it's my TV.
I'll just make note of that and tell my neurosurgeon. I'm joking. But I mean, it's like you're seeing all these very uncomfortable pictures being painted, and things are accelerating at such a rate right now. I mean, between the earth movements, and like I said, sometimes I wonder if a lot of this stuff is, they say that the cyber war is the quiet war that nobody's aware of. And yes, trust me, guys, there is a gigantic cyber war going on. In fact, the United States nuclear plants were infiltrated about a week ago through a Microsoft program. Oh, gasp. Let me gasp really hard on that one. Because how long have I been telling y'all? Microsoft should not be on any government computers. Amen. End of sentence. No, and I don't care if Bill Gates comes after me. Don't care, buddy. I got a track record a mile long that shows Microsoft infiltrations all over government systems, directly through Microsoft. So prove me wrong. You can't.
Backdoors.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And if I'm aware of it, you're certainly aware of it, and you should have taken steps to fix it, rather than let our systems that actually link to our nuclear capabilities be in danger. Because that is not acceptable. That is ridiculous.
But arguably, these organizations will have external firewalls anyway. Will have additional security as well. So just because you're running, let's say, Microsoft Windows on your client's machine, that doesn't necessarily mean there is a potential breach if you've got good external security. So,
well, it was kind of like CrowdStrike was kind of supposed to be that, but you remember, Mark, CrowdStrike was supposed to be kind of like that extra layer, and that was a fiasco. And like I said, CrowdStrike, I can't even understand how their stock went up, because they're really not a good company. And I'm going to point out that they were also involved in some of the going on and shenanigans of 2020. And they were involved in some of the shenanigans dealing with the DNC servers in 2014, 2015. So CrowdStrike, not so reliable. And it makes me think, you duplicitous SOBs. Your sides.
But this actually goes back to a point that I've made many times before. When I started in the industry back in the 90s, early to mid 90s, you may have found the same. A lot of companies had provisions in-house. They were self-hosting. They were email was all self-hosted. These days, we have more companies using third-party services, or using so-called cloud services, using AWS, Amazon, using Cloudflare blurbs. And obviously, that's an additional security risk.
God, I love you. Hold the thought, Mark. I got to take us out to break. Hang in there, guys. We'll be back. I know we had only a short spot down to this break, but that was my flub from earlier. We shall return with the Vixen's Vault in just a few moments.
Isn't Mr. Edworthy such a positive thinker? Like he thinks that the government is just so great and beautiful.
No,
I did not say
David,
that.
David, what's going on?
What's that?
What's going on?
What?
Where you at?
You're gonna get fired. You.
No, it's all right. Mark, that was me actually, because I wasn't sure if you were taking us out on
twice tonight. Come on.
I wasn't sure if you were taking us out on 55.
Oh, I thought you were handling Mark,
Are we
I
still
thought
on
you were handling it.
We went into a new break. That's what I mean. I didn't know he was going to take us out on the 55 after we went out on the 40.
Yeah, that's what I
No, you
thought.
can't do that. You still have to go out on the 55.
Well, I know.
So
My
we got to bail
goodness.
right now to get on Chaos 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, what he could have
No,
just thrown.
no, just let this one run out, and then I'll bring Chaos 2 up.
So
There we go.
So
coffee in between.
Don't I have to leave to get on
Yep,
Chaos?
everybody can leave now if you want,
Okay.
and then I'll bring up the other
so,
one.
so Dave gets
All right.
off scot-free. Is that what you're saying?
Not, yeah, well, he's got his counseling
okay.
tonight.
Okay.
No reprimand, just a
Okay.
counsel,
Okay.
because he has some tenure here.
I'll do better on
Mark?
Chaos
Okay.
2.
Mark?
All right,
Because
he has some.
All right,
All
all right,
right,
I'm
we'll see.
leaving.
He
All
has some
over there.
tenure here.
Okay.
All
bye.
right.
I'll do better on Chaos 2.
All right, I appreciate that.
All
All
right.
right, we'll see
I'm
all
leaving.
over there.
Okay. Bye.
All right.
Are we supposed to hang up now?
Yep, hang up now, and
Yeah,
I'll bring you
yeah.
over.
Okay.
Do 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 do. Okay, there you are, David.
I'm here. I didn't. Mark, last time you were taking care of the times. I mean, I can do it. There's no problem.
Yeah, I thought I normally leave that to you. I don't like mess around with that when you're here. She takes a break. She takes a break and comes back like this. Oh, here we go. We didn't need to see your hairy legs, Mark.
Yeah, well, whatever.
You want to see my hairy legs?
Now we're missing
No,
Vicky.
we don't want to see your hairy legs either.
Okay.
Oh, please, no. There's laws against that.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, who do you think you are, Joe Biden?
No, I think I am freaking like infamous OG 1973, yo. So, yeah, I didn't realize it the other day, like until you guys. I need to be a little bit more serious on this show because, like, when I was trying to talk serious, you guys got all quiet and didn't talk.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody over on D Live and Kick. Really appreciate everybody over there on all those platforms, along with Facebook. And I don't know. I mean, got low numbers tonight on Rumble and some of the other sites. I don't know what happened, but hey, we'll try to get those going for next time. No, maybe you guys just like to listen to Willie on Sunday nights.
It's just Rumble.
There's no Worm Farmer on Wednesday, not during the week. All right.
I went on a
And
chat.
don't you dare start trying to sell chunderwear on Nancy's show, Roger.
Oh, I don't want to sell underwear. I went on a show last night in the chat section and they were talking about paranormal stuff. Dude tried to get into an argument with me over religion and shit. And then he went back to my channel and started stalking me and I was like, dude, look. I'm like,
Hey, Svetlana, thank you for the ice cream and lemon in the D Live chat. Appreciate you. I don't know where MC Dirty Work is tonight. He sent me a message earlier, but I missed it. It didn't say that he was going to miss the show, but I did, try to send it to him, but it doesn't, or something.
He's feeling
Mark,
like I am.
you got to contact Vicky because she didn't make it back in.
Oh, hold on here. Hold on.
Yeah, you got to get Vicky back.
Yeah, that happens every time when she leaves the chat.
Yeah.
For anybody who don't leave the chat, just hang up.
Just hang up. Yeah, the little
Hang
right.
up. Don't leave the chat.
Just leave the phone call. Yeah.
It's AR, right?
Hey,
Arpad.
that reminds me of
Yeah,
something.
she should be air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
hey,
on.
B.
Here we go.
You've got this cool song, dude, that
Yeah,
you
I think
need
she
to
was
start
trying to
playing
call.
more. Hey, about what's his face off of Bullhorn Berry. You need to start playing that more. The one about
What, the
where,
Bullhorn Berry song?
yeah, where they chased him out of town and stuff, and because they were sick
Oh,
of
no,
hearing
no,
it.
no, no.
Oh,
no.
dude, that
Barry, where did you go?
There's Vicky.
He's always like late for the show and things like that. And then
yes,
they come back and say it's my fault. No. But Barry's always like, well, my mom had a birthday. It was Father's Day, and so Barry won't show up for any kind of like day like that. He's like, oh man, and everybody like harasses him for it. And well, not everybody. Mine's David Hogg, but mine's David Hogg hasn't been around for a little while, so I'm hoping that he's all right. Are you there, Vicky?
Yeah, she's
Yes.
there. Oh,
Okay.
Yep.
Don't leave the chat. Just hang up. That's what's going on. Okay.
I thought I had.
No,
maybe yeah.
you've been leaving the chat, so
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
leave chat. Just
Oh, well,
and because otherwise we have to re-add you in.
okay. Does that mean I hit the red telephone?
Yeah, you hit
Okay.
the red telephone. It says leave. You know, that's it.
Okay.
That's yeah, but don't leave the conversation. You've been leaving the conversation.
Okay. Yep. I guess I'm confused. Okay. Sorry.
All right.
Thank
Vic,
you.
did you have a head cold?
Yeah, I COVID.
oh, no way.
that's
I'm
why.
sorry to hear
That's
that.
why I'm not
I
talking.
made it through last week.
Hmm.
You know, my husband and his son had it, and I thought, yay, I've escaped. You know, and they were having breathing difficulties. You probably remember that with Raphael or with COVID in
Yep.
general.
Yep,
And then,
yep.
so they were having, breathing difficulties that night, and then I came down with it. So yeah,
You sound a little stuffy today yet.
yeah, I'm
How about, I'm sorry. How about
happy to
you,
be here.
Roger?
But
It's the same
yeah,
way. It's the same way. I'm having the same issues. And then you got sick just before I did. Over in
Oh, hey, you never guessed what Jack was talking about in the last program.
Yeah, it was cool.
Aliens coming in, bringing space herpes.
That's cool.
Remember,
herpes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like,
Herpes?
no, they're just coming in for shore leave
Dude,
and
that
that.
was just
Yeah,
the,
he goes,
that was the
yeah,
tip
bring
of the
in
iceberg.
space
Cold
herpes.
sores?
I'm like, what?
But you know what, though? That's not far-fetched.
I had to
because-
cut in. I had to cut in on him, Nancy, and say, did you just say space herpes on here?
Yes.
But that's not
it was from
far-fetched. It's not.
Spaceballs. It was from that movie Spaceballs. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's
30 seconds, Nance.
I could believe space
Mark?
herpes exists.
Yeah.
Mark, can I ask Mark a question? Oh, Mark Edworthy.
Yeah, carry on. Feel free.
Real
Yeah.
fast.
Okay.
Were you
Here's
talking
your
about the
countdown.
Oslo Accords in 1994 that gave the land back to Palestine?
All right, 3, 2, 1, and you're live, Nancy.
Welcome back, folks, to the Vixen's Vault. It is 10:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, July 30th. I'd like to welcome everybody back to the show. Vicky was actually asking Mark a question. If y'all remember earlier, I think we hit the Abrahamic Accords, the Balfour Agreement, and then Vicky was just asking Mark if he was talking about the Oslo Accords of the 1990s, which I think that was Yitzhak Rabin, if I remember correctly. But go
It's
ahead,
the one
Vic.
where they transferred power. The Israelis agreed to let the Palestinians govern that particular Gaza, that area, and that's like the two-state solution. Is that what you were talking about originally? Probably not, but
No, I think we were talking about the earlier one.
Balfour.
Yeah. No, the Oslo. Fine.
Oslo.
Yep.
hmm
Yeah.
The Accord. That was the one that gave it to where the Israelis and the Palestinians. The Israelis allowed that Gaza portion to be Palestinian controlled.
Yep. Rabin did that, Ishbak Rabin, and he paid with his life for that. I mean, he was really a peacemaker, and he did. They bartered those accords, and they were working. That was the thing. They were giving back areas of Gaza back to the Palestinians, and the settlers, the Jewish settlers, were not happy about it. He was closing the settlements, and he ended up getting assassinated by one of his own because of that. And guess who took power after that? Oh, it was Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah.
And everything went sideways. And like I said, it was funny because they had perfect peace with the Oslo Agreement. Like, there was no disruption. The disruptions occurred after Rabin got assassinated, and they started moving the settlers back into that area against the accord. So it's like, it's such a...
Didn't that all start with Menachem Begin, and who was the I think he was the PLO leader, Yasser Arafat. The two of those. That's where it all started, right?
Well, and Arafat, you forget, Arafat died in what, like, I think it was like 2007 or 2008, something around there. But he
mysterious causes too, I think.
Yeah, he's another one. Rabin got taken out. Arafat got taken out. The great peacemakers of that era were, literally taken out. And, like I said, and nobody's looking at, Bibi, who's power hungry, and even his own people know he's power hungry. My God, he stands accused of corruption right now.
Yeah. And those trials keep getting interrupted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of interesting. I said that October 7th, that huge event that what people did not know is that the largest protest in Israel's history was planned for the next day against Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And again, I said, oh, wow, look at the timing of this. And, oh, gee, one of the most secure lockdown countries on the planet somehow didn't know they were getting attacked inside their own itty-bitty little country, which is the size of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
For 8 hours. Their people were, what? Who believes that? I don't believe that for even an ounce of a second.
No.
Of course they were aware. They allowed it to take place. Why? So then Bibi could turn around and crush the hell out of Gaza. Like I said, you can look at something and there's patterns, and that was a choreographed event.
Yep.
Yes, it was. Right. But they also want to keep war going because that keeps the military industrial complex in business.
Yes, it does.
And we can't, that has to stop. We can't have that. I mean, you see where Trump is going in, peace. So we'll see how far they get along with this, Israel and also Russia.
Oh, yeah. It's going, like I said, it's getting interesting.
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to...
Just on the point, I just found that YouTube video that was related to the Israeli or Palestine British diplomat, which I've just added a reference to in the chatter for you to have a look at later on.
Actually,
the one who got killed?
No, a diplomat that, or an ex-foreign office diplomat that was talking on UK talk, TV talk radio today.
Well, like I said, I find it interesting that, your country, Mark, and my country, which are quite well separated from where Israel is, we are providing more money, more goods to this itty-bitty little spot of land in the middle of nowhere that always claims it's broke. If I have to listen to one more Glenn Beck infomercial about how broke Israel is and how her people are starving, I'm going to throw up. And I'm not joking. Because it's like, dude, how about we send if it's really that way, then the conditions in Gaza must be better. So why don't you just, because
Actually, it was Lord Tariq Hamid, former minister for the Middle East. But yeah, you're going to get all these NGOs, all these charities doing bleeding art sort of adverts.
yeah, yep.
It's their business after all.
What was the latest one? Oh, we need money to build bomb shelters for the Israelis. I'm like, what? No, we need money to build bomb shelters here. Are you kidding me right now?
Also, how much of that money is going to go to those NGOs?
Go to APAC.
That money is going to be siphoned.
AIPAC. AIPAC. APAC.
The fires in LA are a perfect example of what you're talking about. Okay, they did Fire Aid out there. They did these huge concerts. It was an NGO thing where they made $100 million doing these concerts to raise money for the families that lost everything in the LA fires. And you know what? Not a penny. Not a dime of it went to them.
Nothing.
It all went to
$100 million's gone.
Yep, and it went to Gavin Newsom's what? NGO. So
to his ball
once
sack.
again, oh my God, that man.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that where it went?
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought they shut down all the NGOs and all the USAID. I thought they shut all those down.
Nope.
Yeah, this was a rock concert though.
Yeah. And it was, they advertised it. People contributed with the thought process that the people of Los Angeles were going to get some kind of assistance to try to rebuild. And that is not what occurred. And it was funny because I thought about that too. I thought, they didn't do that for the Carolinas. And I was just in Asheville, by the way, this past week. And we actually tried to drive up to Chimney Rock. And,
did you? Yeah.
Yeah, Mark, just for your knowledge, that's the area that got wiped out with Hurricane Helene. Literally, I can tell you for a fact because I saw it. Pretty much half a mountain came down on the Blue Ridge River Parkway, which is still not operational. I've never seen. And it was weird because driving through there, I actually felt fear driving through there, and I don't know if it was an echo of what happened, but I'm looking at this literally half of a mountain that it's a big mud track. And I'm like, I could feel like I felt afraid. And I was like, I looked at Raphael and I said, I cannot imagine. I said, because, the mountains are the one place where, avalanche in the winter, there are things you have to worry about. But the one thing you're not thinking about is so much rain that it's not like a little bit, it's like the whole side of the mountain came down. I said, and all these people that time of the year, that's camping season. I said, it's the fall. I said, then everybody goes camping in the mountains in the fall because they want to see the trees because the trees change color. It's like really beautiful.
Yeah,
I said, so all those people were in the campgrounds. And what was interesting is we were in Black Rock. We were not Black Rock, Black Mountain, which is right south of Chimney Rock. And we actually had to stop there because Raphael had to get his hair cut. So we found a little barbershop in Black Mountain. And it was his hair person was, she was Cherokee. And she's from the area. And, she was saying how they just got their water restored on Black Mountain like 2 months ago. They have not had water since the slide. And like she was living in Ohio because there was nothing, they had no infrastructure. She actually said, I didn't vote for Trump the first time around. I did the second time around, and I'm glad I did because after he came into office, our infrastructure started to come back up.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he for as much as people want to hate him, and I said he really did for the people of the Carolinas, he was the only one that stepped in.
Yep. And they're still hurting. I mean, they still need more.
Oh no, it's a mess. Like oh my God, Vicky.
I know. I've heard.
I mean, and I remember I looked at her. I said, because again, I go to the medic frame of mind. I can't help myself. And I looked at her. I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "You know what?" I said, "They're still doing all this recovery." I said, "I guarantee they're unearthing." But I said, "Some of these people, you're never going to find them because they're going to be 20 to 50 feet in mud."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "You're now beginning to dig more bodies." She goes, "Oh, we're discovering more bodies every day." And apparently, just last week, there were two people from Black Mountain who were found in southern Tennessee in a creek bed.
Gosh.
And so I'm like, I looked at her. I said, "Well, think about it." I said, the storm happened in October, which is your fall. I said, your ground starts to harden at the end of October going into November. Your first snowfall is usually end of November. There's no digging anything up when the ground's that hard.
Yep.
I said, so literally now is the time the things are going to start to surface. And she goes, "Yep, that's exactly what happened." And she goes, "And of course, now the tourists are starting to ramp up because we're going into the fall again." I said, "Yeah, I get it." I said, I would not want to be on any kind of excavation teams. Just no, no, nope.
Yeah.
But it was, and we were in Tennessee also. So we were in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Dude,
I'm only 30 minutes away. I guess.
That's why I was kind of hoping you were going to be on last week because I knew you were in Tennessee. I'm just in nowhere. And we were actually in Cherokee, North Carolina when I did the show last week, which I loved. That, is the Cherokee Indian Reservation. And I'm all about that culture. So I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, well, note to self: next time when you're, in Gatlinburg, I'm like an hour away, but I won't take offense. No.
Oh, I do. I liked Gatlinburg a lot. I actually like the surrounding, like the outskirts about Gatlinburg. But Pigeon Forge, I was ready to hang myself.
Well, yeah,
beautiful
it's
community. It is
racket.
Las Vegas in the middle of the mountains.
It is, or
I mean, I was
like country Disney. Yeah, it's not nearly as nice as Disney, but it's country. But a lot of people come here. Oh,
I was gonna say, if I had one person ask me if I was gonna go watch the Dolly Bill, whatever the hell it was, show, I was like, at $168 a head, no.
Oh wow!
It's a big wow. Yeah.
I'll skip it. Yep, I will go. To the cavern. Actually, we went to the Tuscaloochee Caverns, which you guys will find this interesting. I did not know this when I got there. I was like, oh, the U.S. Geological and the U.S. military have a seismic station in those caverns, and apparently it is the military. It's the main one the military utilizes because it can actually any seismic activity at all from China, Russia, North Korea, all of our quote unquote enemy states, that it registers on that device because of how deep that cavern is. Yeah. And like when we went upstairs, we were watching. Like it was weird because there was activity coming from Russia. And they were saying that's how they monitored when they do their nuclear testing and their missile testing. Yeah. Because it'll show up seismically in the cavern. And so that was like a very, very cool place to go visit. And I love water. So the waterfall coming in through the cavern was just incredible. We climbed Grandfather Mountain in North Carolina. I think we did that on Saturday. And that was, at least we drove up. You drive up. It's a national park. So, but it is like probably one of the most interesting perilous drives I've ever had in my life because it's like, oh, okay, look, there's no fence. And, oh, gee, that's about, I don't know, a mile and a half drop. Fun.
Yeah. And you came up through North Carolina and don't have that. I think that's a little scary.
It was, but I love the mountains. And I said to Ralphie, that's genetically, it's got to be a genetic thing because my family comes from the mountains in Italy. But I said, I'm a Piscean who hates the beach. I love to scuba dive, but I don't like the beach. I love going to like the creeks and the ponds up in the mountains. That's like my thing. And so he's like, when we got to Cherokee, he goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to go down to the creek and I'm going to take my shoes off and I'm going to go walk into the creek water and I'm going to forget about all the misery I have been through for the last year and let it go downstream." And then I'm going to feel much better about myself.
And you do feel better?
I do. I felt, it's weird because I feel even physically, I'm much better when I'm up higher. Like when we got back down to like South Carolina area, I could feel everything in my body again. Like my head started pounding again. And I'm like, I kept thinking maybe it's allergies, maybe it's the pollen. But I'm thinking it could be also the fact that the air, when you're getting up that high,
it's pretty clean.
It's very, very clean. It's very refreshing. And of course, I'm up there. Actually, Grandfather Mountain is the highest peak in the eastern United States. And we were all the way up at the top of that mountain. And here's Raphael. Here I am. And, I'm a rock climber. So I have professional hiking boots. And, I've got my boots on. I even had a sweater on because I knew it was going to be about 10, 15 degrees colder up there. Here's Raphael in shorts and flip-flops. I am not joking with you. I was like, and it's raining. Looking at him going, "You're going to break your neck in those flip-flops." And he says, no, I'll be fine. So we took a picture of him. Like we got
flip-flops.
He was in freaking
flip-flops and climbing the rocks.
Flip-flops.
I've got, guys, wait. I can go into the main chat and drop you this picture. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then I actually watched him almost break his neck because he tripped on his flip-flop. But, but it was.
Are they still intact? Did they break? I mean,
no,
I would think they would.
He did good with the flip-flop or not. In fact, he even did the one-leg salute for me at the top of the world. But because he was showing me how good his balance was, and then he tripped. So it was good times.
Oh wow!
I mean, I think I laughed beyond laughing at him because it was just too perfect. Some of the stuff he did. What the hell is this? I know I have the picture. It must be like. I'm gonna have to find it later and drop it in there. Oh wait, actually, here's one of me. We're gonna call this the no way photo. Hang on. So that would be me at the top of what's called the swinging bridge, which is over a mile high in the air, and it's a suspension bridge. And we're walking up to it, and you got to understand, Nancy has a brain injury that gives her vertigo and puts her slightly off balance. And here's Ralphie going, "Well, yeah, come on, let's go on the bridge." And I'm looking, I'm going, "Are you absolutely out of your mind?" No. I'm going to stand on this side of the bridge and watch you go across it because there's no way my rear end is going on that bridge. Wait, see if I can send it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Hang on a minute.
Funny enough, I suffer from the.
It's time, Nancy.
Gonna take a break, Nancy.
I know, I saw it. All right, guys, we will be back in just a moment. Take a look at my picture, and we'll return to the Vixen's Vault when we're back.
She's drunk.
All right.
Hold on.
Drunk.
I'm trying to figure out. There, it should be.
There it is. I see it. That's
We
cool.
got a picture there. Yeah, we got a picture.
What is
The
that?
bridge. Is that your back?
That is back. I had my hiking boots on, my sweater. It was cold.
Okay, you look like an Indian there.
I look like an Indian? Seriously?
On the back of it, you need. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, she needs some feathers or something. She'll be okay.
Call her Hiawatha.
It's actually, it's funny because there were a couple of girls working at the top of the mountain, and she kept asking me, "Where'd you get that sweater?" I go, "This is a Florida beach sweater." I said, it has holes in it, so you can get the air through it, but it's warm. It's like, because when you go to the beaches at night in Florida, the temps can drop. And so you get cold. I said, so this is like it's the perfect solution.
It gets below 70 degrees here in Florida. That's cold.
Yeah, especially
It is.
like out in the water.
Horrible.
Yep.
Make sure you keep an eye on the time later, or we'll get cut off at the end.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
I know.
Yeah.
So, did you ever go to Brown Mountain?
No, we were at Black Mountain. Black Mountain and Grandfather Mountain were the two that we did.
I mentioned that to somebody the other day. Like, nobody ever remembered Brown Mountain lights and stuff. That's like 200 years of like stories there.
Yeah,
Lore.
Julius Verne's novel reminds me of this. Yeah, as soon as sort of Masters of the World reminds me. Yeah,
Like they've been
What?
mysterious lights that appear on top of Brown Mountain, dude.
Yeah, but I
Isn't
think
that
the same-
related to the devils? What was the famous mountain in Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Oh, that's out in Arizona, isn't it? Or Nevada?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I was
He
thinking.
got all excited. See,
Oh, it's Devil's Mountain or Devil's Table or something?
Yeah, the Devil's Peak or something like that. It's but it's very prevalent, and from what I understand, it's beautiful. But I would go there in a blink. I've been to the Sierra Nevadas. I mean, I went to Area 51. I told you guys that. I climbed Peekaboo Peak. My stupid butt went up. Oh, there we go. Here, Vicky. This is actually I put the video of the lightning from the other night.
Whoa.
Vicky, that's me with my feet in the water in Cherokee.
All I see is, okay, wait a minute.
that's Devil's Tower.
Gotta get into chat, Becky.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm watching lightning. Is that?
Oh, okay.
Is it after the lightning?
Dude, that went on for 3 hours like that.
Oh wow!
Yep. I was like,
We call
what
that
the
heat
hell?
lightning.
That
Heat
is heat lightning, but I think it was combined because there was a storm over Tampa. So I'm
Oh.
like, it must have been combined with the storm because
Oh.
it
Oh,
never.
Devil's Tower.
there was
Oh,
no-
okay. That's in Wyoming, Mark.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Eastern
That's right.
Wyoming.
Yeah, that's quite a distance away, Mark.
Yeah.
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 I
He
just
doesn't-
pulled 2 and 2 and I came up with 5.
Now, didn't
It's
it?
huge. They climb up that. They
Mhm.
climb up that tower.
Now, isn't that a sacred mountain too?
Nice feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nail polish.
Yeah, that was. And wait, this is Raphael looking very, very, very Raphael.
Where is he?
Hold on, it's coming through now. We were at it was called Peter's Pancake. And he's sitting in the rocking chair waiting, and he was
30
hungry.
seconds, Nance.
Okay. So
Is
he's
the
just sitting there,
picture-
like he's gonna kill somebody, sitting in a rocking chair.
Doesn't look
But his
happy at
hair is
all.
cut, right? His
Uh-huh.
hair is cut.
Yep. But he was like, "How long can it take to make pancakes? For God's sake!" So I was like, "Oh, for
All right, here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3,
I never saw the picture.
2, 1. And you're live and back on the radio side right now.
And it's 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, July 30th, 2025. One more day in the month of July of 2025, and then it's gone. See ya. And we don't ever have a July 31st, 2025, ever again. Ever again. It's the one and only, guys. Unless, of course, we're on a repeated timeline, which is possible because guess what? All things are possible. I mean, it's interesting. That's actually a concept and a conversation that came up when I was at the Full Disclosure Now symposium, which, like I said last week, a lot of interesting people there. I was definitely hanging out more with the older generation, which made me feel really old. So, although they're my age. Well, I think we think differently though. And I said that to somebody. I was like, even when we were younger and we were still into conspiracies, we were still into, government things, we were still looking into these things and we would have these conventions. We were like a really calm crowd, like you'd be more apt to find us in a library having discussions or, something like that. That's just the way we were. I said, in this generation, oh my God, they're doing drum circles, drunk off their asses on the beach. Holy crow. I mean, it's, yeah, I felt really old, put it that way. But there was a lot of really interesting information. A lot of people who think they're alien hybrids. A lot of people who think I'm an alien hybrid, which I was like, probably. Not going to worry about it. It's just, well,
Not
you
today,
never know.
Satan.
Not today.
I think Raph just thinks you're a sleigh stack. That's all.
Well, actually, he was putting that out there too, because they're talking about the reptilians. He's like, her. I'm like, stop. He's like, her. She has the green eyes. I'm like, oh my God, stop. She was telling one of the he goes, and her eyes change colors, and they do. That is not a lie. That is truth. And I'm like, I'm just looking at him going, stop while you're ahead. He goes, oh, and then to add to, like, she's like one of the only people you'll ever meet in your life who, as she gets older, her eyesight gets better. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to kill you. You do know that the reptilians are bad, right, Robbie? But, like I said, it was interesting, but I think I went over this last week. I was kind of rocked by a few things, but the one thing was there was one girl there she claims she's Pleiadian, but she also claims she's psychic, and she kept calling me AI the whole time. Like, she was like, every time I talk to you, she goes, I just think AI. And it rocked me, because I was like, for years, I mean, literally decades now, before AI was even a thing, I always put out the theory that I thought humanity was a singularity of a form of artificial intelligence. I said, I've always believed that. I think we are something that was programmed to be a certain way, and we gained a consciousness. I said, and I believe that because we're built biomechanically. I said, if you rip the body apart anatomically, we are a biomechanical machine. We even have an electrical volt through us. So I said, it's just one of those things that I've always thought I've always thought, God, we are something that reached a singularity, and probably did so a very long time ago and had to be brought back under control. I was like, I really think we were telepathic in our past. In fact, I think the Tower of Babel is kind of like a metaphorical rendition of what may have occurred, because I think, before that, they said everybody spoke one language, and I thought, yeah, they were probably telepathic. We're actually set up to be telepathic, and the fact that we're not is kind of amazing to me. But I thought, if a race that created us, or something that created us, the creator came down and said, all right, so y'all are not using this correctly, so we're just going to cut that off, and then y'all are going to have to figure out how to communicate with each other. I could actually
Or they
see
were causing
that.
too much trouble.
Well, but we're
If you go by the
humanity.
biblical sense.
We're gonna cause trouble no matter what. I am kind of laughing, because I did note within the last week the U.S. government's kind of been raising the red flag on this object, this interstellar object that they're tracking.
Right.
And it reminds me of what was it called? Oumuamua? Was that the name of it?
No, that was the first one that
Yeah.
Oumuamua, but now this one's I-35 Atlas, I think it is.
Yeah, and
it's a weird designation.
But it was funny because Ralphie pointed it out to me, and I said, "Yeah, I've been hearing rumblings about it for like the past month.
Yeah.
Kind of surfaced on the radar." And he says, "Well, what do you think?" He goes, "I mean, even the government's saying November 2025." And I kind of looked at him, and he goes, "You're the one that follows Q. And Q is all about the 11.1 through 11.5. And I said, yes, the markers. I said, but I will tell you that here's what bothers me with this. As usual, when the government starts talking about things like that, it's always with something in their back pocket. I said, they do not do disclosure unless it's to their advantage. Ever. That isn't ever. End of story. I was like, so if they're doing this, it's because they're gonna. I said they're gonna pull blue. I'm telling you, they're gonna pull a blue beam event.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, I never thought of that. That's a good point. Good point,
Well,
Nancy.
they have said, yeah, they'll do everything all at once. Isn't that special?
Yep. I said they're gonna do it. I said, and people are gonna fall for it. I said, and it's gonna be bad because it's gonna utilize religion. They're going to go at our soft spots. I said, and if you're not aware of it, you're not even aware of what blue beam was or is, you're going to get wrapped up in it. I said, because we do have the technology. I said, I know people don't want to believe that, but the technology is there. It's been there for a long time. I said, holographic stuff, they have stuff that you would never in a million years know was a holograph. It's just, they've been doing it since the 1940s. Literally, they've got it down. I was like, so yeah, you need to be concerned when they're putting out warnings like this and they're suddenly talking disclosure and they're being very open about all these things that we're seeing in the sky. You need to worry.
Well, or be prepared. They're prepping us for it.
Talking about religion and possible extraterrestrials, did anybody watch that movie I referenced a couple of weeks ago, with Planet Mars?
No.
I did it. A film that was directed by Harry Horner back in 1952 that really looks at how society would work if they ever found out there was aliens, and looked at it from it was looked at it within the concept of the Cold War, but looked at it from a sort of fairly religious point of view. Looked at it from, let's say, the death of God, in effect.
Well, here's the thing. If you've noticed, because again, these are things I track, and I've tracked for decades. The Vatican has very much kind of opened their arms to the thought of alien life. In other words, they've incorporated. They did a South Park, and I say that very tongue in cheek because South Park actually did an episode where the aliens came and and what happened? The Jesuits actually built spaceships and sent Jesuit priests out to the aliens to convert them all. And I was like, oh, that's really what would actually happen. But
or they asked if they could be baptized, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
okay, whatever.
The Roman Catholic Church in of itself, and again, they don't understand it. When I say they're involved in CERN, I'm not playing. And they're not just involved in CERN, they finance a big chunk of what CERN does. When you've got a religion that is that deep into science, I mean, when they were doing the studies for the God particle, for the Higgs boson, that was completely financed by the Vatican. Why? Because they're trying to integrate religion with science, and they're trying to get people
control it.
Yes, they're trying to actually the narrative of it.
Right.
Not necessarily. I don't think they can control it, but they're trying to at least control societal narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really, I thought to myself, oh, you guys are playing with fire, because again, if there is something capable of that type of interstellar travel at those types of speeds, they are way more intelligent than we are. They most likely have observed us for a very long time, or there are remnants of them here. And the fact is that whatever games you play, there's going to be a counter move already in effect. That's why I always say, if they're not benevolent, if they're not something that's peaceful, we're screwed. 1,000% we're screwed. And yeah, you can watch Independence Day a million times over and over again, but it doesn't change the truth. We are really screwed if whatever ends up coming is not friendly. When you said that Jack was talking about space herpes.
Jack was also saying too that He doesn't believe that these aliens that are coming in are quite as capable as the ones that are already here that can blink in and out of existence.
They
And
blink in and
they may
change
have
dimension.
he goes
Change
he goes when
dimensions.
they show up, when these guys finally get here, they may find that they have themselves a handful of something else that they didn't want or expect because
Well,
of the other aliens here.
the other narrative you can look at too is, what if that's ours? Because again, there's always for 50 plus years, there's been rumors of Solar Warden. There's
Yeah,
been,
I figured maybe that was one of the ones from a breakaway civilization that may be trying to come back.
well, do you ever stop to think, these shows that were iconic when we were younger, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate. Did you ever stop to wonder if that was actually a narrative, a soft sell to society? So when reality surfaced, it wouldn't be such a hard pill to swallow. I mean, we don't know that we're not a breakaway. We don't know, literally, because our governments are so secretive and so nefarious, we really don't know. And that's a sad thing, because it creates people like me, people who will go outside the box without even blinking or thinking twice, and examine it from every angle I possibly can, and then say, well, to say this is not true is actually a bigger overstep than saying it is true. When you say that we are not capable of that type of equipment, that's actually a bigger overstep than saying we are capable. It's because everything that lines up evidentiary wise shows me that, yeah, we are more than capable. Not just more than capable, they have really hidden so much from us. It's not funny. I mean, like, people now, when you talk to them about dumbs, and they say, well, no, there's no way we can have tunnels like that. Oh, yeah, no, we have entire cities underground. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They have literally dug it out. Like, you could, from what I understand, you can go from Alaska clear down to Chile, completely underground. And it makes sense. It's like, yeah, that actually makes sense. It's like Florida. We always thought Florida was, really far below sea level, blah, 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 blah. But then you find out that Florida is actually part of a mountain range. So it's like, what's real and what's not? And what do you believe and what don't you believe? Solar Warden, I've found enough documented stuff that tells me there is something up there, and it's ours. What is it?
With the Black Knight, do you think that Black Knight is ours?
I think the Black Knight is actually way older than anything we've got. I think that is ancient technology. I really do. It reminds me a little bit of like the moon, when you start thinking about the moon and you break it down and you actually look at the actual facts about the moon and what it's comprised of and its orbit. And you actually, when you start looking at it on paper, you realize there's no way this is natural. It can't be. It's not possible. I mean, that is literally a satellite that was put up into orbit. There's no way it's natural. And then China last week, what's the name of her? Chang'e 2. So Chang'e 2 is the Chinese satellite I told you guys about a couple years back that they launched it, and I thought at that point in time, militarily, what a genius move that was, because they put it behind the moon, so on the far side of the moon. So that means, I think strategically, so I'm thinking strategically speaking, that means it can blow up or control any of the satellites in front of it, meaning all the SpaceX, all the Stargate, they could be destroyed by China easily because they've got Chang'e 2 behind the moon. What I didn't see coming was that they released photographs from Chang'e 2 that showed ruins on the moon. And initially I could say, well, that's just Chinese propaganda. But then I think about Don Ecker that showed absolutely structures on the moon. And I'm like, oh, man. So what are they going for? Are we in a race to try to get as much information to get the absorb as much as we can before they try to do a blue beam event? What, or is China trying to fight against the blue beam event? What is going on right now? I mean,
Well,
what it just
and when are they going to release, this information?
China did already. It's out there. Like I have to see if I can find you guys the article, but it showed some of the pictures that Chang'e 2 sent back, but it's not being carried in a lot of the Western press because again, number one, it shows China as being a lot stronger in a lot stronger position than they want you to think. Yeah, not just strategically speaking, but I guess you could say as far as advancements go technologically, they're ahead of us. And Western governments can't have their people thinking that because it'll cause chaos and fear. And this is what I don't get. I'm like, but why would we be so stupid as to think they're out in the rice fields picking every day? They're a powerful government, and so is Russia. So, why would you feed us this negative image, knowing full well that it would just take one false move to prove that wrong?
Well, Nancy, do you not think that we don't have just as much or better?
Oh, I think like I said, we've got Thor's hammer. We've got so many different weapon systems up there that people aren't even aware of. You have the sentient satellites. That's why I laugh when they talk about AI. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. What they're feeding us is a bunch of corporate crap.
Right.
It's not AI by any definition. It's programmed by people. It is not self-thinking. It is not self-propagating. It's not AI.
Well,
Sentient.
What is Colossus? It's in Tennessee. You've heard of it. So where does that fit in that picture?
You tell me.
I thought if anybody would know about it, it'd be you.
Well, the problem is
I've had a lot of conversations, and we've done a few streams in relation to artificial intelligence in relation to this and the marketing BS stuff. AI, artificial intelligence, is a trendy term at the moment, and a lot of companies are using it in such a way that it really makes the concept, the concept meaningless.
I got a question for you though, Mark. Did you ever think that the governments that be are allowing this to happen to basically cover for the fact that they do have sentient AI? Because I think they do. And I'm going to back that up because there was actually next week we'll talk about this, but there's actually a film out there by, put it this way, an operator. And we're not going to say he was spec ops because he was actually what he would be considered black ops. But he's basically chagrining Elon Musk and telling Elon Musk he's being stupid and that he believed the wrong people. And that the fact is that the White House has had sentient AI for several administrations, and that there was a benevolent sentient AI that was very, I guess you could say, it was a real form of sentient AI, and it got killed. They killed it.
There's a topic.
Now they have a second form.
There's a topic you keep skipping one topic that you brought up in chat, and you really do need to cover it. It's wetware.
I agree. Oh yes, yes.
You posted that was actually one of the best posts you made on here, to be honest.
Yeah. One thing it just reminds me of. I'm not a big believer in if there is such a sentient artificial intelligence at this present moment, but it reminds me of an old book, quite a horror book. I have a mouth and I cannot scream. I can't remember the author of it, but it's quite an interesting read. All about artificial intelligence and the end of humanity.
Well, Mark, would you be able to wrap your head around the fact that humanity could be a form of AI? Can your logical brain see that as being a possibility?
Does that compute?
I've made the argument that a lot of people talk about artificial intelligence, and I've got to question if some people have actual intelligence.
Well,
But yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, we are a biomechanical organism, and there's no two ways about that. Computers are actually an echo of us. So, I've said that computers are built as an echo of the body, because you can take each piece of the human body and put it to a systems control panel of a computer, and it will match up.
Well,
So
Mark
we
brings a
kinda
good
built
topic
something-
up too, though. I mean, like, look at the conversations you have with just individuals. Okay, there are people that don't have any logic whatsoever. They're dumber than a freaking computer.
common
All
sense
right,
is
guys.
not so common.
I gotta cut it short because we're gonna go out. Okay,
Sure.
everybody, quickly tell everybody where you can be found. We're gonna start with Mark Edworthy, but we gotta be quick.
Nice and simple. I'm at minds.com under the username Medworthy.
There we go. Roger Hanson, give it up, buddy.
You can find me at Burger King eating a Big Mac and a Whopper with milkshake
Oh boy.
and some ice
David
cream.
Champion.
All
David
right,
Champion.
you can get me on David Champ on Facebook, and you can see my UFO spacecraft identification manual on Amazon.com under David Campione. Vicky?
You can find me on Telegram. My channel is For Such a Time as This, and on X at Booklander62.
All right, guys, you can find me on Facebook under Nancy Plana or Wiccan Vixen. Either one will bring me up. You can see all my vacation pictures. You can also find me on Telegram as Wiccan Vixen, and on X, I am Writer on the Storm. With that, I'm taking the show out for the night. Next week, we are actually going to get into it about AI, because that's incredible conversation to be had.
That does
Now,
not
they-
compute.
Evening,
You think AI made us?
No.
I think we are AI, but we will see you guys next week.
Storm.
Oh, there's Roger.
Into
He's
this
singing again.
house we're born.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Thanks,
Good song.
Roger.
Roger
We're off
says.
air now, but we still are on the video platforms. Your singing sucks. Keep your day job, buddy.
Oh,
But
come on
anyway.
now. I've heard you sing. You didn't do much better than I did.
I know. It's been an off night tonight for me. I don't know why. I mean, I've been, even when I run the encores, I'm getting better.
I'm telling you, Rumble is crazy. I wasn't lying about that.
Yeah, DK was saying that he couldn't even open Rumble. I don't know why.
Yeah, I have
Has been
problems
up
on
and
the
down.
Cyber attacks going on.
I've
Yeah.
never had
it's been up-
anybody try to fight me on frickin' Rumble, dude. This is the first time it's ever happened.
Jeez.
Not today, Satan, huh?
Yeah, but you know, I did have quite a few followers, new followers today, so that's good.
Good. Yeah.
We'll keep this going for maybe another minute, and then I'll switch us over to the. That's right, the after show. Nancy, you coming in over there? Or you
Yeah, I'm
got
gonna
stuff?
try for a few minutes. I mean, I've got a ton of stuff. I'm still trying to catch up work and everything.
DK's
Okay.
kind of geared up.
Um,
He wants to get into the.
I got a
after show.
message for Nancy from Detective Fallen on YouTube, and he says, "Whoa, she's wrecked my brain with that one. If we are AI, and I'm definitely going to. I'm definitely going to Skynet."
You know what? Anyways, all right.
I would
If
say
we get
no.
cut off here, that's
bail.
because our time ran out. In
See you up
between,
there.
I'm also going to cut a few platforms off so I can conserve and also edit at the same time I get the after show going. So I will catch you guys in the after show. Just give me a minute. I'm going to get that
Hang up
going right
now?
now.
I have to be.
Go ahead and
Vic,
hang
check the
up.
chat.
Go
Did
ahead
we
and
hang up?
Yep.
go ahead and
check the
hang up.
chat,
Everybody
Vicky.
hang up.
Hold on a minute. I gotta mute or get unmuted on the thing. Sorry.
Cut off here.
All
That's
right.
because
Well.
our time ran out. In between,
up there.
I'm also going to cut a few platforms off so I can conserve and also edit at the same time I get the after show going. So I will catch you guys in the after show. Just give me a minute. I'm going to get that
Do we
going
hang
right
up
now.
now?
Go
I have
ahead
to
and
be-
hang
Vic,
up.
check the chat.
Go ahead and
Do we hang up?
go
Yep,
ahead and hang
check
up.
the chat,
Everybody hang
Vicky.
up.
Hold on a minute. I got to mute.
So slowly. I didn't understand it. It was just a Wednesday. I mean, come on.
And
Yeah.
if you all don't want me to be on, just let me know. It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
Shut up.
What the hell
Well,
that?
no, I
Dude,
didn't give
where
any
is
calls or
she?
anything.
Oh my
Huh?
No,
goodness.
no,
my
AIs
God.
don't have feelings, Vicky.
That's right.
Are you an AI? Is that what she's
I
saying?
don't have feelings, Vicky.
Well,
Okay.
Cliff High says that, AI is only as smart as the person that programs them.
Well,
So, there
All
you
right.
go.
yeah,
Everybody,
you were talking.
while I still have you, I got you now. We're gonna say goodbye to YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Too.
Bye, YouTube.
Yep. We'll leave
Goodbye,
the light on.
Facebook. Thank you all for tuning in.
Good riddance.
Thanks, Facebook.
We didn't like Facebook anyhow. They
Okay, got
suck.
in.
Yeah,
And-
it wasn't.
and
It didn't.
anybody
It
who-
didn't ring me.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
did
it
try to
didn't
ring you
me. I
like a
just
bunch
went
of
and
times.
looked and just clicked
Goodbye,
on join.
goodbye, Telegram.
Yeah,
All right, no
goodbye.
more
Telegram sucks. Telegram.
Yeah, and
Later,
good night,
Tele-
Twitch.
Later,
Telegram
Twitch.
sucks.
Twitch
The
sucks
Telegram's all
too.
good.
I love Telegram.
Twitch sucks too. Are you getting rid of D
Yeah,
Live?
YouTube.
Are you
Are
getting?
there any that
And
you like?
since we had some issues with Rumble, I'm gonna cut Rumble off tonight.
Yeah, bye
as well. There
Rumble.
we go.
Are you
Oh,
leaving YouTube
all over
on or
the
not?
place.
Sorry, guys, I just cut Rumble.
Yeah, Mark. Are you leaving YouTube on or not?
No, I just cut it.
Ah,
That's fine. I
Sorry.
got it. I've got it
D
going.
Live keeps buffering for me. That was where I was getting the audio from.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but yeah,
So I had,
I-
I had the audio from YouTube playing, and I'm looking at D Live for the chat.
no. Hold on here.
Usually I use Rumble, but it was being a dick today.
Now, if you use
Yeah,
Kick, you
I
can do
don't know.
picture in a picture, and it makes it easier.
Oh.
So
Hi, DK.
now, hey,
Hey, how's it going, everyone? How are you all?
Good, good. Hi, DK.
when you guys were talking about AI, you do realize that AI actually was first used for artificial insemination. And then, like that conversation you guys had about like us being AI. Well, yeah, duh, dude.
Oh,
We were artificially
Yeah.
inseminated.
by the
Alright,
aliens. The aliens did it.
Yes,
Vicky, I added
If you
a
go and look at
reference-
who is it?
Sitchin.
Yes,
I
Sitchins.
added
Yes,
the-
that's one.
I
Right,
added a
yeah.
reference. I added a reference to the "I have no mouth and I must scream" a Wikipedia page to Chaos 2.
The hell did you just say?
I don't know.
Chaos
I-
too.
You lost me there,
I-
buddy.
Mark, this is the after
The
show.
book I was referencing just at the end of the novel that was referencing just at the end of the stream.
Oh, okay.
I found the Wikipedia page for it.
And
All right,
that's
Vicky.
The movie. Yes, ma'am. Yes, hello.
In Chaos 2, I just put the picture of Raphael with his frickin' flip flops on at the frickin' top of the mountain.
Yeah, you
Oh,
did
we
it.
can
You
put
did it on
that.
Chaos too.
It's in
No,
Chaos
put it here,
2.
because I'm not allowed on the other ones. Put it here.
Oh, hang on.
Bruce, you put it in the
You
same.
got to bring it in the after show, Nancy.
The
All
side.
right.
That's
Hang
the
on,
only
hang
one I'm allowed on now.
Someone.
See, people love the after show because of this stuff, man. Like, this is the cool stuff. This is where.
Yeah.
This is where DK can slip and I won't get in trouble. All right.
Exactly. Oh no, see, I'm even fine with that. I know what I'm like. It's like I gave it a try. I screwed up 3 out of 4 times.
3 out of 4.
Look, Yep, it was. Yeah, the first show was the only one. The first show was the only one I didn't swear in. Yeah, I screwed up 3 out of 4 shows.
3 out of
Yep.
4, dude. Seriously.
Yep.
I would say like,
4 out of 3.
maybe like 5 out of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, and I don't look at it as a total loss because it took a while to train Raffy too.
Oh God, you're still training Raffy.
Yeah,
His mouth was all over the.
You know, I can only train one at a time.
I don't
Alright.
think any of us is really fully trained because like Nancy is a troublemaker, dude. Like
What?
yeah, like I was like, dude, this is cool. I'm gonna do a restream because it's the 4th of July. It's Nancy and freaking what's her name? The one that does the red carpet.
Debbie.
Debbie
I get on there, dude, and
Debbie
she just goes all nuts about the coronavirus and everything, and I'm like right there on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, dude, she just goes unleashed on there, dude. I'm like,
Yeah, but you know, on Debbie's show, she's not on radio side.
well, I mean,
That's why I took her. That was one of the reasons why I took her off because a lot of her guests, you know, I would have to clean up a heck of a lot before even putting her out. But you know, I love Deb. I love Deb has some great guests.
That one chick that was on there that you were streaming, she was into like the gothic freaking scary movies and stuff.
Lillian Wardis. Yeah, she comes up a lot, and Lillian is a real hottie, but her husband's
no, she's cool though.
Dude, you know.
That one movie, the zombie movie, I mentioned it in there.
Pictures, Nancy. Sorry.
She was in a zombie movie I think I actually watched.
She's been in a lot of movies, and she played vampires and all sorts of other crazy stuff. It's like, want to take and get her back on with Debbie here now that we're not on the radio side, and you know, just let her cut loose.
Well, I wouldn't let her cut loose. I heard this story about the nail in the nose.
Yeah, how about that?
That's not.
It's one of those stage things, yeah, where you know,
it was a
you
mistake.
put a nail in your you know, piercings and and she screwed up and it went through the top of her nose or something, and she still has a hole in her.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
She's like, it's been that way for 2 months now. Like, you're on the radio?
We did that interview. I think we did that interview about 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
And it's still a really good one.
Yeah, it was. I was impressed. That was a good one. See, that's the kind of cool stuff that I'm talking about. Like with Sonia, I wanted to have her on just to talk about being a tattoo artist. I don't want to hear about the.
I've been trying to find the ones with Nancy and Scotty, but I can't find them. You know, to put them up. Her and Scotty Roberts and John Ward.
Oh yeah!
Oh my God!
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah, when we did, what was it? The Exodus something.
Exodus reality.
Yeah, and then he had an event that he brought in.
The Paradigm Symposium.
The Paradigm Symposium. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we did some live stuff from there too. I can't find any of that. I guess, and probably what happened was shows like that got taken down. Remember when we were talking about the deal? The archives get scrubbed every now and
Yeah,
then.
we do.
And,
Yeah.
and
I took
think,
it down, huh?
Yeah, I think that's one of the. You know, one of them, probably many shows that I lost. I never thought I lost anything, but thinking back, shows like that, yeah, I did lose.
Always have an offline backup.
It's called It's called content, man. That's
and that was back before I was able to find other sites to put my eggs in, so to speak. Because I don't
Yep.
put, as you see, I never put all my archives up in just one place anymore.
Mhm.
All right, I put them up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
And
to
the
use
archive
more than
things are
one basket
down.
because you can't trust even the government these days.
I'm getting so sick
Yep.
of
Really?
archiving is
Really?
ridiculous, man. I'm like, I got stuff scheduled into next March, man,
For what?
for video content, all the
Wow.
Where?
way on Rumble.
Oh, on Rumble.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, I noticed on YouTube you've got videos that we've done, streams that we've done dating back to months ago.
Seven,
That
Yeah.
just appearing now.
Yep, that's right. Because I know the secret to success.
Oh, you do.
Yep. Don't get excited about anything that you freaking do in the here and now. If it's really good stuff, still schedule it for later so that freaking you can set some time up for yourself so that you don't have to be always in a rush to get it posted. You know what I'm saying? So if,
Yeah.
instead of doing like just because it's a good stream, you know what I mean? You want to get it edited and pushed out. Hold back, man. Do it a week from now, and then the next one 2 weeks from now, and so forth. They can wait.
Yeah.
It's good. They'll love it 2 weeks from now, just like they will one day, you know. So,
Yep.
and it
All right, Vicky.
Been a bunch more.
there you
Sorry.
Where did you guys go that time? Oh, I seen these.
Down the Takalichi Caverns, and then the other are the Smoky Mountains. That was actually where the Appalachian Trail starts. And then actually the one with the guy leaning in, that actually the old mill is me in front of the waterfall. But the guy leaning in, I didn't even know who the hell that was. He was behind us on the Appalachian Trail.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Ralphie and I we bicker constantly. So he was listening to us bicker because Ralphie had worn boots to the Appalachian Trail, but apparently the socks he was wearing were not right with the boots, so his socks kept slipping down into his boots. And the trail is like ridiculously steep. So he was it was like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back the whole way. And so the guy at the very end, I was like, take a picture of me in front of the sign. And he like jumped up behind me. He's like, and they're
I
not
see.
fighting. I was like, oh shit.
I got a good
Oh,
shot. I got a good shot of the sign for you. It's the Appalachian Trail. What is that? Sweet Heifer Creek Trail?
That reminds me of a stupid joke I said today. Saw today. Yes, you're not gonna like it.
Well, I mean,
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is Appalachian. The
Yeah.
word for today, the word for today is fornication.
oh,
Oh
It's
no.
for, what it means is when you wear a really nice dress, it's fornication like this.
This is so loud. Oh my
You
God.
silly guy. You.
only from New
I
Zealand.
just saw that today. Yeah, honestly, I just saw it today. I was like, damn. And it stuck in my head because it was dumb.
That's like
It
a.
was so-
That's almost as bad as Mark's dad jokes.
Oh, want to get into that now, huh?
Yeah, tell us a
Get
dad
into
joke.
that now, huh?
Tell us a dad joke. I definitely want to hear one,
Dumb
dude.
joke time.
No, he tells dad jokes. They're just like straight up dad jokes.
Yeah,
Tell-
like the barber that you go to. All right. You never want a barber named Nick. And the other barber that you don't want, if he's his partner, you definitely don't want Butch.
Or Mr. Todd.
All
Yeah,
right.
Mr.
So,
Todd is another one.
yeah. Just saying, that's what Roger was talking about.
Yeah. Well, no, you had another one too before that one, but that one was the horrible one. I remember.
Yeah, it's just horrible, right, Roger?
Well, I mean, it wasn't as crazy as your idea about like the dwarf with two freaking battle axes. That was horrible.
It happened. It happened, dude. I was there. Yeah, I know David. He was probably on the other, probably fighting with some other dudes back then too. Back when we was in the, that was before I was in the Air Force. Back when we were we were drafted into the Army. They even took kids back then too, man.
Yeah, they didn't care.
They needed food.
Didn't care. Come on now.
They needed food. Heck.
We may see that in the UK happen again. There's talk about reducing voting age down to 16. And if
voting,
we could see 16-year-olds being eligible to join the army or the military.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I think it's crazy. They can't even think.
They're just bloody savages. That's why they want to do that, right?
Something like that. Well, our government is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I blame Kiyostama.
I would have actually joined back when I was younger if they didn't have a requirement here where you had to be in college. Like, seriously, you have to have a college degree or something, or high school diploma, and then no, it was a high school diploma. Like you had
hairdressing or whatever.
To be in the military, you had to be. You had to have a high school diploma, and then freaking now I think they want you to be in college, or even, I think that's
is that right?
No. It's the other way around.
Well, I know.
If you join the military, they will pay for your education.
Yeah.
While you're in service.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to have the education first.
You have to have that high school diploma, though.
You just have to sign up for longer.
No, you have to have.
Because they're paying for your shit.
If you're a dropout, you don't get in.
There's only one group that makes you have to have at least an associate's degree in order to be in it.
I'm talking high school.
That's the Coast Guard.
I'm talking high school, guys.
Now, FBI and CIA need shit.
Now,
you didn't even have a high school diploma when I was in the Coast Guard, Mark. I was in 65.
It's a requirement it's a requirement to have an associate's degree.
Oh my God!
To join the Coast Guard right now. And they prefer if you do take it. Hold on, DK. Hold on, DK. They prefer you to have a criminal degree.
Yep. Oh yeah.
They prefer you to have a criminal.
Oh, you got to be a criminal or felon? To
that's what I said.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Because this is everybody knows that the Coast Guard is set up for politicians and their children. So you have
the Coast Guard is set up for smuggling drugs.
No, the politicians. That's where they send their kids.
They drop the drugs off in the ocean. Who do you think gets there first?
It's the National Guard. National Guard.
National Guard. National Guard is what they do.
They send the National Guard as cannon fodder, and then they send in the actual standing military. It's like
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Like
that's what they did in L.A.
Those poor idiots. They hit like 18.
And then after the Guard, they send the reserve. and then you get to the actual
military.
Trust me, I've been there.
All these poor kids.
When I was in Panama and over in the Gulf, that's what I saw a lot of.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, not National Guard. National Guard. Now you got me confused. Yeah. But these kids, man, they're like driving around the neighborhoods and stuff, making sure everything's secure, and that's about the extent of their training. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden war breaks out and they're like, oh my God. You know?
We got to get out of here. We got to go to war.
They know who's first.
I just well, I know Mark is right though. You currently you cannot have a GED and go in the United States military. It used to be GEDs were accepted. Now they're not.
Right.
So you have to have at least a high school diploma, which means you have to have passed. And then they do. I think what they were looking at is if you have an associate's degree, you're eligible for the officer training program.
No, not in the Coast Guard.
No,
And
the coasties are.
the only thing an associate's degree does for you in the active duty, it gives you 2 stripes.
Yeah. I think with the coasties, though, that's been over the last 10 years because I have a lot of friends that are coasties here in Florida. And it was because about 5 years ago, they started offering a $25,000 sign-on bonus. So basically, they want bang for their buck. You know, they're going to put $25,000 sign-on on you. They want you to have an education, a serious one.
And see, I was also hearing from my cousin when he joined. He said that they give you an option with the sign-on bonus too with the education. If you want more of an education, then you have to waiver the sign-on, and they'll actually extend it to where you can go in for like a 4-year education.
Yeah. That's similar over here as well. Yeah, if you sign up for longer, they'll pay for your education as long as you plan on spending at least a few years in one of the armed forces, sort of thing.
In the Air Force, for the Air Force, and this probably goes for Space Force too. In order to get into officer training, you have to have a master's degree.
Yeah, yep. It used to be bachelor's, now it's master's. Correct.
I wouldn't do that for the
From
Space
accredited
Force.
college?
No.
You couldn't
Oh
get
yeah.
it over the internet?
Yeah, and then what they do is they take over your debt.
Well, see, if you know with the Space Force,
It's a minimum of 6 years to do it though.
me and Mark talked about the Space Force. Okay, now you don't want to get caught up in that because it's some dangerous stuff. Because have you watched UFO?
UFO.
Yes.
I don't know if that particular
The
one.
original
Yes.
Jerry Anderson show? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
we were talking
like
about
when
that.
those
That
UFOs,
was a really cool show back in the 70s.
when those UFOs come to attack us here on our planet, we're going to have to show them that this is our planet. We don't want them here. Okay, so the Space Force,
What do we do? What do we do with the ones that are already here?
we send them home.
We can't
We
even
send 'em
stop
home
people
and-
coming across our
ET.
borders. For
We
Christ's sake.
send them
Steve,
home
phone
in
home.
we send them home in body bags because
ET phone home, ET piss off home.
What I'm going to say is, you ever watch that movie Starship Trooper?
Yeah.
well if
Oh,
And
yeah.
read the book, yeah.
I've got a really good story about that. You go first.
Yeah. They're probably bored into the moon already.
well
know?
insectoids, okay,
Ah,
you don't
right.
mess with
Yeah,
insectoids.
mantis.
Yeah.
The
What do you think
producer-
we're talking about them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The producer or director of that movie, can't remember which one, was actually trying to make a movie that showed how tyrannical the government was. About how they were forcing people. No, this is what he actually said himself.
Yeah.
No, hang on. Let me finish, bro. This is what he actually said himself. He was doing this as like a joke on how tyrannical the system was. And all that ended up happening is he basically made a pro-military movie. How many people quote lines out of Starship Troopers? It backfired on him completely. It did not go the way he wanted. He actually tried to make an anti-government, anti-system movie, and everyone loved it.
Come up
The
to
book is much more nuanced. If you've read the book, you will get a lot more out of it than the actual film. I consider the film to be quite poor and weak, considering the book. I'm not an overly big lover of the film.
I used to be. I'm not anymore either.
well, I mean,
They completely destroyed everything for me when I started finding out more than I guess most people have. But I'm just over Hollywood.
well,
completely.
since I was bad mouthing aliens with UFO, though, Nancy got upset and decided to leave. She said that she's tired.
The battery's dying.
She
on her
said-
phone.
She said I am tired of people bad mouthing aliens. It's horrible.
Which aliens?
Aliens are good, and we should love them.
Which aliens?
E.T. aliens.
How woke do you want to be?
Vicky's leaving too. She said Roger just pushed my buttons. You cannot be bad mouthing aliens.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that, though.
I wish Sonia was here right now. I don't know. She said that she probably was going to come in, but she showed up in like she was on, and then as soon as I started calling her, she's like, "Oh no, Mark's calling." Probably wants to send me a whole bunch of pictures again.
Talking of Sonia, Roger, has she rescheduled?
She said
What was
something.
mentioned the last Friday?
She said something about the 8th, maybe doing it on the 8th. Because I told her I was sick as a dog, and I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do tonight or heck the rest of the week, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah.
And she said the 8th. I didn't answer back to
Next
her.
week, yeah, next week. Or next Friday, yeah. Okay.
I whenever I'm glad that I was sick actually, and that she didn't show up, because you know why? It was
Take
a good.
care, Vicky. Hope you get better.
It was
Feel
good.
better soon, please.
It was good to
You
just
too, Nance.
be quiet and let Vicky and Nancy sit on the show and be like that. It's been a long time since those two have actually had time to just chill out and
Do the girl thing.
yeah. Well, Mark too. Mark was a part of the
Yeah,
girl
you know,
stuff.
he's flicking his hair. and
That's
all
part of
that,
the girl thing, yeah.
He was right there, dude. He just they love talking to
Sitting right
him.
in there between them. Yep.
They just love talking to Mark, dude. He's like the instigator.
My charm and
Mark,
elegance.
gotta let them know that you're not Scottish or any one of those folks over there that wear kilts. All right.
No,
You're-
I don't know.
Just tell them you're not into that. That's savage or something.
I've got a tartan tie, a tie that is, I think I've worn it once or twice on one of these shows, maybe on one of the other shows. Yeah, I've got a Scottish tie that was given to me as a present when somebody came from had a holiday in Fort. Can't remember which fort it was, but yeah, some Scottish fort.
Nice. It's all my ancestry, and I haven't been able to get over there yet. I've got English, Scottish, and Irish, and Germanic. I haven't made it over that side of the world yet.
They call that Kool-Aid,
I've
dude.
got some history. I've done my I've did some research into my ancestry, and I've got some Irish and German, and in fact, I've got my own the Edwards. I've got a coat of arms.
Where they
Technically,
Arguably a Viscount in Munich or somewhere.
Awesome.
If I just go back as far as my grandparents, I have 3 coats of arms. My last name has a coat of arms. My mum's maternal, mother's maiden name has a coat of arms, and my father's mum has a coat of arms. I've got 3 coats of arms. One's English, one's Scottish, one's Irish. I actually have 3 coats of arms from the UK in my family, just in 3 generations.
I mean, I got you
And
both
I'm
beat.
broke. All of them hate me.
I got both of you beat. I got both of you beat. Yesterday was my 52nd birthday, dude. Hey.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're getting old, Roger.
I'm not getting old. I'm getting healthy.
Better. You're getting better, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
The body ages, but the brain ages well. Hopefully.
Well, I mean,
like fine wine, or are you just like vinegar?
I'm a little bit of both. You know, I was like, apparently I got in trouble on my birthday with somebody about religion, and they ended up trolling me onto my channel, talking about.
Dude, honestly, Roger, if anyone ever trolls you, hit me up.
Oh, I'm good at taking
Dude, no,
care
I'm
of
not
it.
kidding you. I troll hunt for fun.
Yeah.
If you ban trolls, they'll come back with a different name.
I
make them want to. Yeah, I make them want to leave and not come back.
if the guy would have,
you know Roger's a star. If you know you are a star, if you've got people trolling you.
well, I mean,
They've given up. They've given up on me. I don't get trolls very often anymore. My reputation does actually precede me.
I would have invited the dude onto my show if he wasn't so stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I would have. I mean, but like, you know.
Oh, dude, that's always the best. That's how you destroy trolls. Let them on.
Well, I mean, if
Let
they're
them on and
smart,
just make a fool of them. They will never try and troll you again.
if they were smart, I could do that, because then you'd have like an actual logical conversation. You know what I'm saying? But
oh no, you just end up having to abuse them. Serious. If they're dumb, you end up just having to abuse them, make them look like fools. They will leave.
Mm-hmm.
You will not even have to ban a troll again if you follow those rules.
well, I don't need to do that in
I
an
love
actual
troll hunting,
stream.
man.
You know, I could.
I started modding before I started streaming on a channel that was hit by a bot farm at the same time on the same day every week.
Yeah.
I used to love messing with them. I made a couple of them cry. Seriously, they're actually crying in the chat, and they were the trolls. It's like, why would you say that? That's not nice. Like, I'm a girl. What are you on about? It's like, well, why are you here? Why are you saying that? Piss off.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If you're gonna dish out shit, you gotta be able to take it. If you can't take it, get out.
Yeah, Nancy or Vicky, you're right. Nancy did leave before you. She's
Vicky, you didn't have to leave the chat.
Well, Nancy left because I was talking smack about aliens.
No,
aliens.
You know, you just
leaving the chat again.
I mean, there's this.
Did she just keep leaving?
Yeah.
Instead of muting, she just keeps leaving. I'm sure Mark told her that earlier.
Well, it's a hard thing to explain. He has an issue with that with Bullhorn too. Barry has an issue about. I love it. Every day he starts, like when he has to call those guys, he has like this sigh of breath, dude, like because he knows what he has to deal with. That's the first
Here
thing.
comes Barry.
Yeah.
Here comes Barry.
Like it's like you.
Oh, I just realized something.
Uh-oh.
No, maybe the fact that I can't get on your other platforms and things, and that it buffers so much on DLive, is because you have so much reach and they don't actually want me being there.
No, it's just that DLive is a really bad framework.
No, I couldn't even get on Rumble.
Okay. I know.
I mean, I had other people that got into the Rumble, but you know, they just didn't talk much. You know,
it just for me when I clicked on the link
tuning to listen, but don't.
Yeah, when I clicked on the link you said, it just came up with a completely white page, and it said about : blank.
Oh,
really? I went to a Rumble channel. I was looking to see if there was a live. There is no live.
That could be a Rumble issue, to be honest. Like,
it could be, but if everyone else can find it, why can't I?
Yeah.
Well, not. I mean, I usually have more people that listen on Rumble than that, but I mean, tonight has been kind of an odd night.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know why. It's
definitely the tsunami That tsunami messed with everything.
Right, the tsunami. Sure.
You know, the one that got like 31 centimeter waves and things.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I mean,
you believe that?
I think what it is like a lot of conservatives right now are having a real hard time with like the political atmosphere.
Yeah.
And they're like
mega is breaking and
they're
is breaking
flipping
a lot
out,
of people.
Dude. Because now they're putting out shit on Rumble about freaking Trump getting ready to pardon P. Diddy, dude.
Oh yeah, I saw
Oh,
that.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And like that's definitely not gonna go over well at all.
No.
I didn't see that one, but you know, if he does, Diddy must he probably gave up a lot for that.
Hey, Diddy was on the Epstein list. Let's admit it.
Yeah.
Not that there's an Epstein list. See, I've said this a few times. I don't know how many
I don't
people
believe
realize.
that
There is no list. Drug dealers do not keep a list of clients.
Right.
Right? But there is video recordings and audio recordings.
Well, I mean,
Like the names of the people that are on those. See, people are
Right.
asking for the wrong thing. You're asking for a non-existent list.
Roger told me exactly where to get it.
yeah,
He said
I
the National
know.
Enquirer had all that information.
Yes, no, the National
I got
Enquirer
that.
And
was
it was brought to you by.
They were the ones who released it.
By
Elvis,
Pfizer?
who came in
By
a
Pfizer?
UFO.
The National Enquirer was the first ones to release all the
The
information
National Enquirer
on
did it.
Epstein. They were holding it for like 5-6 years before it actually came out to public. That was back.
I had the flight list, the black book, and the court transcripts years ago. None of them are proof of illegal anything. See, here's the problem. You have a list of names. People went to the island. People were on the plane. People whose phone numbers he had. None of that is proof of anything illegal. It's just proof of association.
No, I mean Epstein directly himself. There's stuff that he got convicted with, because you got to realize he was convicted before he committed suicide, and the evidence.
He was convicted in Florida here.
Right.
Yeah.
The evidence that they used to prosecute him was held by the National Enquirer for like 5 or 6 years before they released it.
Why would the National Enquirer being
Blackmail.
what holds the information
Yeah.
that
Now,
convicts
okay.
the most prolific serial sex
Exactly.
trafficker of our time?
Power.
Or no one.
Power.
For
No
the
one,
same
shall I say.
reason, what's his name? I can't think of his name now. He they were trying to extradite him from England. He was staying in like some like
Assange.
Venezuela, huh?
Assange. Julian
Assange.
Assange.
It's the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
thing with Assange. Okay, it's the same story. I bet Julian has all the cards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he sure does.
Yeah,
He was
because
a
he was the
rough
first one who said,
person,
everyone send your stuff to me.
Yeah, and then the other guy that got killed, who used to run, what was it, McAfee? Yeah, there you go,
Oh,
McAfee.
Yeah, John McAfee.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a nut
Oh,
himself.
McAfee.
He just
McAfee,
relocated.
however you
He
say
got
it.
smart. He took and he read David's book on how to get a ride on a UFO.
I wanted to
he
read
figured
that
it
book.
out. Yeah.
Hey,
I want
No
to read
what
shit.
that
about
book.
John
That
Luke
happened.
Brunel? Hey,
Yeah,
what about
David
John
told
Luke
me, so it
Brunel,
had to
who
be true,
also
right,
got suicided, who was one of Epstein's friends and associates?
Right.
Come on, this goes a lot further than anyone is willing to admit, and that's why they can't do it. It would actually topple.
They won't put it up
Most of the
because
government-
how
no,
many
serious.
Mossad names are in that
Right.
list too?
It's not just about
Of
that.
course.
You're saying Mossad. It would topple every government in the world just about.
Yeah,
Because there'll be
you're right.
people from every single country in high-level positions.
Well,
It
I
would
mean,
actually crash society worldwide if this gets released. And to be honest, I say do it.
Good. Bring it out. Yeah, let him
Yeah,
out.
I still say do it, but this is why they're not.
Hey,
'Cause it
Roger, how
is
long ago was
that
the National
much.
Enquirer publishing those names? You know?
Well, not the names, the documents that convicted Epstein. Like the evidence, the actual evidence, and they to this day they don't know if there's a list or not. I mean, the woman that
there's a list.
the woman
There
who
really
got
is.
convicted with her,
There
with
is
him,
not a list. There is video and audio.
she came
of all
forward.
the names of
too.
that.
She came forward
Covered his
that
ass.
that one woman.
Covered all his bases, that guy.
Yeah, but he didn't have names written down as so and so did this. He did have the video and audio.
Did the National Enquirer ever show Epstein's body after he hung himself? Maybe he's still alive.
Well,
Maybe.
they had like a
It's like
bunk.
the rest of them.
They had a bunk photo of like his
Hanging
jail
out with
cell.
Elvis.
They had a bunk photo of his jail cell, but they didn't show like his body actually hanging. I don't think.
Yeah.
No,
because
there's no photo of him hanging. There's
You
photos
do
of
know-
him
you-
wheeled out with his face looking blue and shit, though.
David, you do know that Ghislaine Maxwell, what her real name is, right?
Oh,
Janis
oh.
Joplin.
Oh, she's singing now, right?
No,
Ah,
yeah.
Oh, that's shit.
An Alpha Centauri.
I actually wrote this down to bring it up. There was talk earlier, I can't remember if it was on Nancy's channel or Jack's one, about the aliens living underwater and things. Have you heard of the Tiramar project?
What was that?
Said the talk earlier on, I can't remember if it was Nancy's or Jack's show. And they were
Yeah.
going on about the number of the aliens that currently live in the ocean underwater.
Oh, that's Jack.
Jack,
Right?
Joe.
So, have you heard of the Tiramar project?
No. But I'm sure
Okay,
he has.
Tiramar project is something that Ghislaine Maxwell was actually one of the founders, benefactors, spokespersons for, and said when she was in court that she had citizenship to 3 nations. Israel, America, was it Israel, UK? Israel, America, and Tiramar. So the world now actually considers this underwater city that most people don't even know about
Yep.
as somewhere you can have citizenship to. It goes so much deeper than you actually realize. And as I've always said, the more you learn, the more you find that every single thing is all intertwined. It's just one more jigsaw puzzle. And then finally a group fits together. And then that group will fit with another group. And suddenly it's like,
All
okay,
connected.
now it all makes sense. Now I see it.
Connected. Yeah, there were. I checked her out today, Mark, that Gazelle Maxwell, because I used to do some work for some Maxwells when 35 years ago when I lived in South Florida, and I used to go photograph over in the Palm Beach area, and I don't know, I couldn't make any connection of them. It was kind of
No. You probably was looking and taking pictures of the people who founded Maxwell House Coffee.
Ghislaine
You
also
know what the
had a
guys found?
submarine license and a helicopter license.
I see
the
that.
guy started Dad's Root Beer.
Dad's root beer. There you go.
Yeah, back in the 30s or 20s or something. Yeah, it's not the same Maxwell. So
No,
which
no.
was, well, I don't know. I thought I would check. You know, I
Yeah,
might could always call her up and tell her I knew her aunt or something. Do me a favor.
Now, how do you spell or say her name? Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine. Giz.
Ghislaine.
Giz.
Now,
Ghislaine.
they said that she had like 100 people that she named.
Oh yeah.
Over 100
Yeah.
people when she gave testimony here recently.
Yeah, a couple days ago. Yeah, she did it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she was granted partial immunity for granting 100 names.
They said that
I
she's
don't know.
not.
Hey, have you seen those 100 names?
No,
Nope.
not yet.
Nope, not
No,
yet.
Pam
Neither have
Bondi's done it.
I. But
Oh, well,
they
that
now
just
have an extra.
happened.
Hey, but they now have an extra 100 people to pressure for more names.
Well,
They can blackmail all the politicians that are on that list. So
What
they
if it's Trump who was working with Epstein, blackmailing everyone in the first place?
well, let me also put it out there too. Like everybody seems to get this mixed up idea that this has to do with politics, but there's been a lot of people who've had their suspicions about Trump with Epstein for quite a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so this isn't just about President Trump. This is about something that goes way back. You know, there's a lot of people who's, well, you know, it's kind of odd. You were buddies with this guy. You were best friends, Mr. Surfer dudes, and you know, and
Yeah, mafia, Israeli connections, all the money, his casino getting bailed out. Oh yeah,
you know,
it goes way back.
it goes way back. I mean, they were friends forever, and then he's like, "Oh, we just had this friendship, this, you know, partnership or whatever, you know, like it was just an acquaintance or something." Bullshit, dude. They were buddies, dude.
I actually found a video today where Epstein was getting depositioned, and he was asked if him and Trump had been present with underage girls. Epstein pleads like the fifth and two other amendments. They named like 3 different amendments and didn't answer. I have a video, well, I have a clip anyway, that goes on about how there's a 13-year-old girl, yeah, who says that she was with Trump and Epstein, and it has never been dropped. It has never been retracted. It has just never made it to court.
Well, we all know that when you reach that high, you're going to be compromised in some way.
Oh, to reach that
No
high,
matter,
you have to have already been compromised, or they can't control you.
But
Yeah.
when you say compromise, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You
You
know?
are caught in a compromising position that they can use against you for the rest of your life so that they can blackmail you forever.
Mhm.
Carrot or the stick. Either you do what we say, or we drop the video and your career is over.
And
We'll pay you and we'll keep you in that position if you do everything we say. Otherwise, we're going to destroy you.
and then people are still
I
worried
just look
too.
I just look at our government like the Masons. You have, and I said this before. I think I said it on Sunday night. You know, well, you got the Scottish right, and you got the other right, and then you got the hospital, but they're all Masons. All right, everybody, all the politicians are kind of like that if they aren't in it already. All right.
Mega's only 33,
Yeah, but
33rd degree of
it
Freemasonry.
doesn't mean that each group agrees with the other. They just have the same goal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm giving up my
evil
voting.
will constantly try and eat itself.
I'll tell
They
you
have
right
the
now.
same overall agenda,
Well,
but they will
I was
constantly be competing with each other to see who's on who's on top at the end.
see that could
Yeah,
that could also flow like 20 years ago, but today is different. It's so bad now, dude. I was telling Mark yesterday. I was like, my buddy Roger Dudley. He never voted, and he said it's a fraud. You're wasting your vote just going up there. Don't do it. And you know what? I'm actually to the point where I believe it, because look at who you have the options of voting for. Okay, they're all scum. No matter how you
and
look
they're all
at it,
put in front of you. You can pick
You know?
from this shit or that shit.
you know.
Which shit do you choose?
Why
It's
waste your
always
time?
it's always been, and if you look back in time, even when it came to kings, queens, and and warlords and that. It's always the lesser of the two evils, unless the greater of the two evils beats them out.
Yeah.
On the point of DK's point in relation to two factions having similar aims, but working differently. Me and Roger, I think it was the week before last, we were talking about the Russian Revolution. Thursday stream, and we were talking about excuse me, the red and white factions.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, this goes back.
The white hats and the red hats.
Man, I wish MC was here too, because I'm sure he would be like, Jordan Maxwell said this. I'm like, and then Roger be like, yeah, you know what? Jordan Maxwell always makes me feel stupid.
No, he wakes you up is what it is. He just he puts you in check. Like you'll sit there listening to him. He'll just tell you point blank. He's like, the reason. He's like, you are a stupid person. You have been taught wrong. Everything you think is right is wrong. He's like, he just tells you like it is. Mm-hmm. Now, the whole birthing thing is kind of interesting. That's the one that kind of gets me when it comes to Maxwell. Like how he just explains how a ship births into dock.
Mm-hmm.
The
maritime law and all that.
Law. Yeah, birth certificate, birthing.
Now that's where he shines.
Gold fringe flags, maritime law.
Yep.
Hey, do you want to know what's really strange? If you start looking at history, the one thing you'll realize is no one's actually learned from history.
I believe that. And people,
guys, I'm going to tell you this: we probably have about 10 minutes or less left of this call. Less than 10 minutes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to take and use the resources to take an edit, and I have an early day tomorrow because I got to get my girls back to their mom.
Busy day tomorrow.
Busy day tomorrow.
Weekend.
Otherwise, I would say, oh yeah, let's go for another call. But I'm sorry, not tonight. If either Roger or DK see MCs, tell him I'm sorry I missed his message. I did try to message him back later while we were on the show and tried to get him in, but I couldn't get him.
It's hard when you're already streaming, to get in touch with people. It's like you don't want it to show up on screen or anything,
Well, I mean, I was trying to do that in Telegram. All right. Message him over in Telegram because it's not in Teams that I was trying to call him, but he wasn't up. So something must have come up for him. Yeah, I know we can't always make it here always, but
yeah.
All right. He didn't make it to the first show he was supposed to be on with me, but he made it to the second one.
No, I'm on. Hey, one thing too with Svetlana, dude, don't have that dude's making a move on your woman, DK.
Hey, dude, she's married, bro.
Seriously.
She ain't my woman.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, dude.
All right.
See you later, Dave.
Take care, David. I will see you on Facebook later on, and I will also catch up with you next week as well.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
You going to?
You said there was 10 minutes
well,
left.
You said,
okay.
Away? I thought you guys were ending
I got about 5 more minutes left on this call. But when it cuts off,
David leave.
When it cuts off, that's when I got to take and shut down for that and go. I will be hosting over to you, DK, on D
I'll
Live.
try and find something again. Yeah.
Start looking at that now.
Now, I mean,
no, everything is off the cuff right then.
Okay.
I did find a really cool thing about the Trump assassination the other day.
And then, and on our
attempt, sorry.
When we get over on Kick side, we're gonna host over to Veterans Radio when we get finished up here. I just want to let everybody know that, so that hey, stick around, say hi. If you can't stay, at least drop some emotes, wave, and then clear out. I appreciate it when folks do that for me, and I know other folks appreciate when they do it for them as well.
You,
Yeah, man.
you're
For
talking,
sure.
you're talking about like emotes, like actually putting emotes on.
Emojis.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
no, like when you're building alligator Alcatraz, you build a moat, you fill it with
Oh my God.
alligators, sharks, and hippos. Chuck some hippos in that bastard.
So
Well,
what's
I've seen some really cool videos. You know how they do the Bigfoot? Well, they've done some alligators like that, and they
Yeah, I
have
saw
like
that.
gorillas and alligators together running the prison. I'm like, that's so funny.
How?
so the emojis actually do something good for your channel?
Yeah,
It just shows
Yeah.
participation. Sort of
recognition.
thing.
and it also
just
lets folks
recognition.
know that you're there. And like
I mean,
SX
I guess I could program it in.
Like 3-4
it's
times a
Dr.
day
Ron
and just
my,
says, let's fucking
Kit Kat,
go.
appreciate
and
you.
leaves.
I will give you a shout here after I get done with all this.
I mean, if it helps, I don't see no problem with it. Because like bot rocks or bit rock ricks, it just sits there. It doesn't really do nothing, but it puts my videos on Discord. But other than that,
No, when you're in chat, and if you got a check mark
yeah.
in your chat, that each one of those deals is a character or a couple characters, and that counts towards their pay.
Now
So it actually helps them.
you can actually program them on the website on what you want them to say too, right?
And those don't count when you program them like that through a bot.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Like the bots don't count, but the when it's
Actual
done by actual
interaction.
people,
Uh-huh.
it's called interaction. Yeah, for an emotes almost every time, or mix them up a little bit.
I get the same 2 from you every time.
Yeah,
Or is it 3?
Yeah, let's go.
2 or 3 every time. Let's go. Some coffee cup. And another let's fucking go one.
well, what?
And the two army guys, doing
Fist bump,
good
you
job.
don't use that on you haven't used that on my channel.
Okay, so
You always do the LFG and the coffee cup ones, and there's another one. There's 3 that you use on mine all the time.
Yeah.
when you say you and me means awesome or amazing or something, what the hell does that mean, dude?
What you are?
You and me make.
I didn't say you and me. I said you. That means you are awesome.
No,
That's what it said.
it comes out to. How do you do the command, and I'll make it say it.
It's a time.
No.
That one's on a timer. It's on a bot timer.
It says you.
You and me are awesome.
Yeah, you
he's hitting on you,
equal
Roger.
you.
Whatever. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna host out. You guys, we love you, and you take care. And
Don't run away,
I'll
Mark.
be back.
Come
I will
on.
be back with live radio.
He's such
shows on
he's such a
Sunday.
great man, dude.
And
He is
and
such
by
a
the
great
way,
man.
I'll have some cool shows, and if you missed this one, you'll get to hear it later on this week too, randomly. So, everybody out there on Videoland, take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you, and getting ready to host the host out. DK, is your stuff ready?
Yeah, I've got about 20 seconds before
There you go. I just
I'm
switched
playing
it
if
my
you
side.
finishes. Yeah.
Said host successful.
Okay. Right. Looks like you've finished already. Okay. Let me find something straight away then.
Okay, and then
All right,
we're gonna
bye.
get cut off here.
All right.
That's right. I hadn't even looked at that yet. I got sent that the other day.
My
which is
friend keeps,
Ghislaine Maxwell
he invited
asked
me to stay at
Supreme
this place.
Court to toss
Ghislaine.
sex trafficking conviction, citing Epstein plea deal. Holy crap. That's the first thing that popped up when I went looking for something else.
Yeah. Somebody's watching you, dude.
Hey, everyone's
I got
watching
this
me.
feeling.
Well, but yeah, I mean,
Well, it's
agencies
just,
are watching
it's
me.
weird that we were just having that conversation, you know? Well, he's out, so I will talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, go over and check out Dreagus Production. You can find them on Rumble, DLive, YouTube, and Kick, as well as Twitch. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, share, make comments on my channel too if you want. And thanks for stopping in.